All right. So you wanted to take some notes about the camper van thing and all that.
We have our fire.
Notes.
Can you turn that off so I can hear you a little better?
No, it's
Why
just
can't
a
we have the
fireplace.
fire?
Because I want to be
It's
able to
not
hear
dis-
you.
Is it going to distract you?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so we're not going to do this. I need to have control of everything, right? We're all going to be able to talk.
I just want to be able to hear you.
Okay. Me
That's
too.
it. You ate it all.
All right.
He wants the pen.
Oh, you want the pen?
Well, yeah, no, but I'm gonna write some stuff down. Do you have any like
Mom will give you one.
paper too? Yeah.
Yeah, get something to drink, laser boy.
If you're going to mumble, I'm not going to be able to
I'm
hear
not
you.
talking. I was talking.
You have to speak up, Dad.
You got to speak
I
up.
was looking at. I said, "There, have some water, phaser boy." I said, "Have some water, phaser boy."
There we
That's what I
go.
said.
Yeah, now I can hear you.
So what I said on the way over was, like you said, was that the minimum wage thing was just a guideline, but a
Let's
lot
not
of the
phrase
work that we
right,
have is manual work, not anything with computers or stuff.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
but
that's-
no, especially with the way it was worded with the.
That was just
It's
review.
not. No, it's
Yeah, we don't want to cheat you. We want it to be fair.
that's good. All right.
So what
So
my
$6,000 to $7,000 is what we were looking at, right?
Yes.
Right.
Wait, let's go back to the manual labor, okay? I can't spell. So manual labor, what I think would be a good idea is like if we're raking, like if we're doing landscaping stuff. That's usually what we're going to ask for help in painting. So figure out how much an apprentice painter,
No.
because you're not a master painter. You haven't painted anything on the outside of I haven't seen you paint anything except the ceiling in your bedroom one time, right? So painting and landscaping, you look it up.
Go get your.
In this area, what people are making per hour
Okay, let's
or
do
per
this
job.
actually reasonably.
No,
So
that's
I
just
do
reasonable.
this job for you. Does that mean I get like a full tank of gas?
No,
Or
you don't.
how many tanks of gas is that?
This is going to be an hourly wage like a normal person.
Right, except it translates to gas.
Yeah, but we still.
But it's also for
Don't
repairs, oil.
We give
Right,
you the
which,
money. It's just
I
like
mean,
getting the
that's the
paycheck.
point I'm trying to make. Like, instead of like, man, we need to get an hourly, we have to fucking write down, we're basically now a business. That seems weird for a family to do.
We have to do it this way so that it's all
It does,
broken
though.
down
Like,
for you, so you can see
That's
every-
that's
everything
fine for
is-
that,
you're
but
not
then it's
cheating
like,
you.
how many? See, that's the thing. You don't have a bunch of jobs
Yeah,
for
we
me
do.
to immediately do
Oh,
to
we
be
do.
able to do that. You're not always going to. Right now, you might be able to say that, but not later. So that wouldn't really make sense.
No, hourly makes perfect sense. It's just like getting a paycheck, and then you can do with that way. That way too, you're not restricted on what you want to use the money for, or have to use the money for.
There's tree trimming that has to be done year round. There's the
How much
mowing
do
of the
you pay
lawns.
the,
There's
How much did you pay the people?
pulling of getting these weeds out.
No. Let me finish. Don't interrupt.
Huh?
How much did you pay for the landscapers to come over here? It was like $200 for like an hour or something of work, right?
They did a whole day, didn't they?
They spent a day and they got all the weeds that were like 5 foot high,
Right.
and they raked it all
They were
out.
not 500.
They were. I saw it.
Okay, whatever.
I have pictures.
Well, I have
We
pictures too.
They sent the pictures before.
Yeah,
Right.
That was like $300.
and they didn't even do it all.
And
They
were
didn't
here all
even
day.
finish. Actually, I
Mom
thought that
didn't
we
like
got ripped off for what they did.
So, but how much did you pay them again?
$400.
$400. And how long was that really actually?
They
For-
were
in
here
terms
all
of
day,
time.
but there was what, 3 of them?
3 people, but
Right.
it was not a
I
whole
don't know.
day.
I think so.
That would
Hey!
imply it was 16
Yes.
hours of work,
But
which is not what it reasonably was. We're
okay,
talking.
so
Was it 3-4 hours? What?
Don't
How
you
actually?
don't on me.
we
Go
were
over
here.
there.
So then
Go
you
get a
don't
toy.
know what their wage would be, and that would be for them. I'd be one person, but I'd be working with you.
Possibly.
Okay,
Depends on
so
if we're
then you
not-
have no
No.
idea what the ratio would be here for
Yes, we do.
hourly. And an
That's how
apprentice,
gotta
that's
be-
the point I'm trying to
We're
make.
not
Like,
going to pay you
apprentice wouldn't
$100
even
an
make
hour.
sense.
No.
You're not going to pay
Like,
you $100
it's
an
dynamic.
hour.
It would depend upon whether or not you're working, what the job is, ultimately whether or not that's going to be activating my own physical issues, which
Hey.
is his own issue in its own right. Like, I'm trying to get on SSI because I have physical disabilities just as much as I have mental and emotional.
That's why it's good for paint. That's not physical.
The painting is physical too. You have to bend,
it's
you have
outside
to
and you're
reach,
not
you have to
moving
do the
your
whole
back.
thing.
You don't have to climb up the building and all that. We're not asking you to do that paint.
Well,
Let's
that's
put it
good,
this
but
way.
that doesn't change that I
The
still have
best,
to.
the best way for you to paint would just be painting the outside. You just stand there and paint. That's the least strain on your back. That would be the least strain
We're
on
still
your back.
okay. That's not really how that works.
Versus going up and down a ladder. We could do the up and
But,
down
oh,
the
you can
ladder.
do the up down. That doesn't change that I have to
underneath the roof.
move strenuously for me, which is difficult to do that.
All right, so
Okay,
I
like
want
I'm
to-
letting you know, there's a
Let me
reason
say
why I
All
don't.
you would need is the paint roller and the thing. That would be
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that's still a weight that I have to move up and down. Okay, like
You're not
and then
going up and down. You're just
You wouldn't
walking.
even.
I have to move the pole up and down, the roller up and down, which is strenuous
it.
for me.
Yeah.
Which
You
is
know,
not
it
for
wouldn't
you.
hurt you to do a little bit. I don't think
Yeah,
you're
that's
that
exactly
bad.
what I'm trying
dog
to
is
tell you,
more
though. It
strenuous
does
than
hurt me to
painting.
do a little bit.
This dog is more strenuous than painting. He is.
Which you're invalidating at that point. That's one of the reasons why I'm
whatever.
trying to get on SSI. So
Well, we're not going to go buy a paint sprayer just so.
I'm not looking for a paint sprayer.
No, he's trying not to paint.
I'm not
He's trying
trying.
not to. You
There's
don't want to
nothing
do
like that.
any
I'm
really
trying.
heavy physical labor.
It's more difficult for me to do this. I'm trying to have you guys understand that, and that means the hours that I'm going to be working will mean way more work for me, which means I actually need to be paid more then.
Well, you're getting paid hourly, and a normal job. Wait, listen to me.
Oh, I'm listening.
Okay, I've been through this.
I don't think you
Well,
have.
okay, I've worked with people where I can get a job done in 2 hours.
That's
there
great.
are
That's not me.
people
I'm
that
finished.
will stretch that out to 4 hours.
That is
because,
not me.
Okay, if you're not going to do that, I don't want it to be.
No,
where-
I have difficulty, and I will have to take breaks. I will have to ultimately speak, especially if I'm trying to get an SSI, because I literally can't do this consistently. Why would you think that I would be able?
Then we give you a section that you paint and how long you take, and that we pay you for the job.
Right? Yeah. No, but no. That's the point I'm trying to make. Now you're trying to make it into a business, so it's like, all right, if you make it into that, I definitely need to take breaks. This is the reason why I'm trying to get an SSI. So it's like I need to take breaks. Then on top of it, I need to have time to recover from whatever it is I'm doing, and it can take me longer. Then it's more strenuous and difficult for me to do.
This is where I start.
Instead of like doing
Losing
the
it.
evil, terrible corporation thing where they pay you less because you're disabled, you should be paid more because you're disabled. Because you
So-
can't do the same amount of work as someone
We are
else.
going to pay you like you are not disabled.
That's the point I'm trying to
And-
make.
but-
You can't pay me like that. It's
Well-
more work for me. I'm trying to get on SSI.
Hey,
You,
no.
of all people, mother, should know that. You are on SSDI. You can't do a lot of the same stuff that others can do. You need to have that income because you can't.
I know.
So,
I get what you're saying. I
Right.
get what you're saying.
which would mean
And
that
we want to be fair.
that's
we
the
also-
fair. That's
okay,
the fair
but
I'm
we
trying to
are also-
argue for.
I want you to understand. We are not an unlimited source of.
And I'm not
income for
trying.
you.
I'm
Of
not
money
trying
that
to do that.
We don't want to just hand all this to you. And
Not asking for that.
well, yes,
We're
in a
not-
way
we're
you
not-
are.
We're not paying you $100 an hour to paint a section
No.
of the house.
That's the point I'm trying to make. So if I get something done like this, then would that be just a gas tank? Because it's like that would be unfair. If you wanted to do it hourly, I have this disability, I have these issues, that means I need to be paid like this.
Okay, so then, but that makes your dad and I We have to-
Scared,
and-
yeah, which is the same thing corporations do, because like, no, why would I want to hire you for doing only this amount of
they
work
don't
when
do
I can
that.
pay way less for this person to do more work?
Corporations will put you on salary, and then they will make your work week 60 hours. So let's not compare it to that. Let's see. I get what you're saying. That's where we would still have to figure out what a person that's not, somebody that's healthy, what their hourly wage is.
But that's not me. So you
You're
can't
not- you're
compare me
not-
to that.
Let me finish. Once we see what that is, and then we see, okay, this is what John Tyler can do. What is a fair wage? And we have to come to an agreement. If you want to make something like that, a wall,
Yes,
you
but
paint a whole wall, and you say that is your gas for 2 weeks. And we
yeah,
have
but
to
see,
set a
again,
dollar
that's the
amount.
point I try and make. It's like, it wouldn't make sense. Like, if it takes me this long, then that would end up being more than that gas, right?
No,
So, and then that's the problem. Like, you don't want to ultimately owe me that much. So it's like, are we going to do a job by job basis for this? And then what's actually fair for this many jobs to ultimately repair and or get this done for the van, right?
well, it also what you consider reasonable amount of gas. Are you going to be driving all over the state of Arizona in between your jobs because now you have a vehicle and you can go camping with him over the summer?
Maybe I want to go to a festival. Maybe I want to
Maybe
go to a
you do.
convention.
But you can only do so much work that's going to give you gas money for 2 weeks in town.
That's
You can
exactly
only
what
do-
I
you-
just
we
said
are
too.
not-
That's exactly what I just said in the beginning. Right now you might have something for me. Later on you might not. So then what's going to happen?
We're always going to find something.
Always going to find something,
We'll
right?
find
Yeah,
something.
okay.
We're going to be living here for at least till your dad retires. So
See, right until it's like, and I'm still working to try and get on SSI right now.
I know. I wish, hope that happens.
Yeah, same. But still, that's the point
And
I'm
we
trying to
have-
make.
but
It's like we're always going to be able to find something. Just give us some time. It's like I don't really have the
No,
time.
I can
Or
sit there.
this little thing right here is going to bug
We're-
you because
we're
it doesn't
not
seem
gonna-
like it's enough work
I have
for
a
this
list
gas
of
money
stuff that I
or
can
this
come up with.
repair or whatever it is.
And we're not gonna do it on credit, so to speak. Oh yeah, you go drive, go to your festival, we'll pay for it, and then
Then
come
you can
back
work
and
it
do your
off.
work. That ain't gonna happen. You're going to
I
have
didn't
to
say
have the
anything
money
about that,
before
but
you
I'm
go
glad
to
you're bringing it up.
the
Yeah.
festival.
So there you go, out of the way. There you go. That's an understood boundary. There's no problems there.
Okay, so we get back to
That's the
we
point.
still have to figure out what is fair.
That's the thing. You won't see what's actually fair as being fair because, of course, you have to pay for something that you don't see as me, which for me is more work and is more difficult for me
Well,
to do.
basically, what I hear from you is we are to supplement your income
We still haven't
because
got
you're not on SSI. We have to supplement.
I don't have an
your
income.
your pay scale. because
There
you're
is no pay
disabled.
scale.
Your
I don't
pay
have an
scale
income.
can be
You're
a
just paying
wall.
for
Your
gas.
pay scale can
You're
be
not
by the
giving me
hour.
money.
No, what he's saying is,
There's no
You want
income.
us to
You're not
supplement-
paying me money. You're not a business either. So, like, this is the problem I'm having. It's like you're
would-
trying to turn it into a business, and then the moment it becomes like, no, this is an income. There's no income. There's no business.
Actually,
There's
you
no
can-
actual money I'm getting. It's for gas, which
That's
is
the way
essentially
you
a
wanted
needed
to set
thing
it.
now.
That's
Like,
what
it
you
doesn't
wanted
really
to
make
set
any
up.
actual
we
sense to
wanted
say
to
that.
do the hourly.
And supplementing
See,
it doesn't
now
really
you-
make
We
sense.
wanted to
Stop.
sell the money to you on a weekly basis. Is what that's what I wanted to do.
we want it hourly.
It's your
We
choice.
You
how
just said there's no income. Well, that's why they set up the hourly wage, because that makes it an income. And that
But it's
way,
not. You'd just be paying gas. You'd have to, you know what I mean?
we wouldn't be paying gas. We would be giving you the money to pay gas.
Right.
Okay?
And I'm going to tell you something. I'm not going to guarantee you that we're going to pay you, say, $100 for a wall, the whole wall,
Mhm.
right? And you do a terrible job. And there's holes, there's spots
But see,
all
that's
over.
where I'm
that kind of
at in this moment, where it's like, so I have this disability, I have these issues. That's the best I might be able to do. And then now it's like, oh, so this reason why I need to be on SSI suddenly means that you don't want to pay me.
No,
Yeah, that's literally what
No.
you just said.
Come on, son. If
No,
I,
there's no come on.
if
That's
I put
exactly
out
the
there-
reason why I need to be an SSI.
do you think that it's fair if you go out there?
It doesn't
and
matter
he's
fair. I'm disabled.
Listen, you gotta
There's no
let
such
us
thing as
talk
fair
here.
on that one.
See,
I
now
can't
you're-
do that thing the way that you want me to do it.
Do you know how many people have to follow rules that are disabled that are not fair? They have
Doesn't matter.
to. You have
It literally
there are
no.
There are guidelines that you
Calm
have to
down.
follow.
Calm down.
Whether you
Let's
want
not
to or
scream
not.
here. Let's calm
I'm
down.
not yelling.
You are talking a
talking
little
loud.
louder than you should. Like I'm trying to literally match that, and it's like it's been escalating for a while. We don't need
Have
to do
you-
that.
have
We
you
can
s-
calm the hell down.
Always does.
Spoken
Let's.
with
Hey,
your-
hey. Let me
God.
finish this, please. It doesn't matter if it's not fair for others. In no way should disabled people have to handle that way. They get paid basically peanuts to a bunch of people,
We are
and
not
it's
gonna do that.
no way reasonable for that.
We're not
Okay.
going to take advantage of you.
Yes, you are.
Let-
Yeah,
let's-
you
Okay,
are.
Okay,
Like,
here,
for real.
here. Okay, here's my thing. There are people that are disabled,
Didn't even finish.
okay, that work for McDonald's and Wendy's. They get paid the same amount as people
No, they
that
don't.
are not disabled. They get paid exactly the same.
No, they
The
don't.
minimum wage, they do too.
They
It's
don't.
the
They
law.
have no protections.
There's no way that they're getting less money per hour.
Go talk to people at Goodwill. They get paid
Goodwill-
literal cents on the dollar. Like literal cents compared to someone that's
But they
actually
maybe,
not disabled.
that they probably didn't tell you they're working
No, because
they're
that's-
trying to work off their fines. A lot of people that go to Goodwill are working off fines. Sherry did it all the time.
Oh, so now they're just
They're not going to.
no. Are they criminals? What
Yeah,
kind
a
of
lot of
fine?
them are criminals.
Oh, disabled people are suddenly criminals.
No, I'm not saying disabled people.
A lot
I'm
of
saying
people
the
that
people.
work at Goodwill.
Goodwill. A lot of people that work at Goodwill. I'm not going to.
We're not
And-
talking about
and here's
those
our
people.
other
We're talking.
point,
We're,
like
no,
your mom
we're
wants
talking
to
about.
try to say.
Shh.
She's-
We're
Here-
talking about people that worked for Goodwill that are disabled that do not have protections are fully allowed to be paid less than the minimum wage because they're considered disabled.
Well, that's
Well-
because nobody's looking out for them. That's not right.
Bingo.
That's not right.
And here's the other
Okay,
thing.
which is
Here's
you.
the other
I
thing.
no.
Mom
I
doesn't
have
want
to
you
be the
go
one that
out,
looks
we
out
pay
for
you
me.
$100, and we have to redo the whole wall.
I don't want to
ourselves.
redo the whole thing because you slapped it out.
No.
Because you're disabled.
That's you're disabled. You just use quotation marks right there.
I did because you use that as an excuse to not do the job right.
You're on SSDI.
I
There's no. Oh, I use as an excuse. That's not what that is. That's
Okay, I
literally
don't have
what that
any
point.
physical
That's the point I'm
disabilities.
trying to make.
I don't have physical disabilities. If I need to, I can go out there and I can paint.
That's the point. You're not me.
So they can't use. I would make sure that it was done right.
Let's go back to the start.
It's
So-
fine if you want to make sure it's done right your way. That's the point I'm trying to make, though.
So if
I don't have the ability to do the same things you do. You're already trying to take advantage of me, and me arguing this way literally showcases you're upset you won't be able to do that. You won't have to validate and take
Well,
into
we don't
consideration
we
those
don't have
things.
to do any of this.
You don't.
We are trying to work
That's
with you.
literally the point I'm trying
So
to
you're-
make.
Yeah.
I'm
Me
thankful
too.
and grateful and
No,
appreciative.
you're not.
But at the same time, you can't invalidate my feelings. Don't do that. But at the same
can
time, it's
too.
like, this is the literal. Did you just say you do?
I said I can.
Are you afraid-
When it does not feel like you are grateful for any of this, you feel like to us, it comes way across that you are entitled to everything that you are asking for, and you are not. Disabled or not, you
Well,
are not
those are your
entitled to
feelings.
everything that you're asking for. We can try to compromise, but you can sit there and argue until you're blue in the face, and it doesn't mean we're going to say, "Oh, okay, John Tyler, whatever you want. You're disabled, and we're just going to bend over backwards and let you do it. Take advantage of us."
Take advantage
Or
of
we're
what?
just going to hand you. I'm not doing it. Just not doing it. If
I'm
you are
literally trying to
grateful,
work with you.
I would feel like you were grateful if you would have come to us first and said,
I did.
"No, you didn't. You never came to us and said, Mom and Dad, I think that if you could figure out a way to buy me a car, I can try to do something to help pay for the gas and the maintenance."
No, I did say that actually.
When?
When I asked about my e-bike and getting it repaired.
All you said was you were going to do maintenance on your car. or your motorcycle. You never
That's
said
literally the definition of what you just said. But
no.
okay.
We're talking about real stuff because we would
That
still
is
have,
real.
we would still
Repairing
have
and
to pay
maintenance
for all
and
the
gas
parts.
is real stuff.
We would still have to pay for all the parts, the tools, everything for you to. I might as well take it to a mechanic. We need help with this place, inside and out.
Which is what I'm trying
And
to
that's how
do.
we can
But you
pay
just
you. So
said
you
that
should-
you felt like I didn't do that. But it's like, what are you asking for me other than an impossible thing that I cannot do because, of course, I don't have those tools. I don't have an income. And obviously, if you know about that, then you're literally upset about something there was no way for me to ultimately make it such that you wouldn't be able to be upset.
I'm gonna be
So-
quiet. Let you get. I don't
so-
know what to do.
Are you afraid that if we paid your hourly wage and we put the money in your checking account, the SSI would say, hey, well, you've got money in your account, so that would show up and that would probably be a problem with SSI, wouldn't it?
No, I wouldn't care at all, truthfully.
I
I,
thought maybe.
I wouldn't. No, what I'm concerned about is you doing exactly what mom and you are both doing right now, which is literally invalid. You literally just said that you're going to invalidate the fact that I'm disabled. You are literally suggesting that I'm trying to take advantage of you already, as if in any aspect or way that doesn't genuinely mean that, hey, my disability is not what you genuinely believe it is, which is it's not until I get on SSI or something, right? Like this is the issue I already have when it comes down to trying to get on SSI because people don't think I have a disability, right? And then they reduce and minimize how severe it is.
Shit. Sorry.
So
I get.
it's like, then on top of it, that's literally what you are doing right now.
But it seems like you're
And
trying.
then you're like, oh, we need to suddenly become a business family for this deal. And then, oh, but because of these things that would make it fair, I suddenly say, oh, shit, I don't like that. And now I'm afraid that I would have to treat you fairly.
Well,
Okay, that's not true.
That's basically
not
what's
true.
going on right
No.
now.
but you can't say
That's
like,
what I'm afraid of.
you can't say like, oh, I'm treated fairly if I get paid 3 times somebody else gets paid.
I can't do the
That-
same amount of work, which means less work for it to be the same amount that properly done, all that is more work for me, which means less time for me to still ultimately get a living of any kind of thing of a wage. Then that means that's fair. That's how that would work.
That's my question. How do you explain it to us how you think it should work, be fair to work? But
I just did.
we can't pay you 5 times what a normal person pays.
And that's
Because you're
why I
handicapped.
compared you to corporations that have
can't
the
do
same
that.
issue right now.
You can't do
No,
that.
son.
It doesn't.
Like,
You cannot
it makes
process
sense
without
to
term
do
and
that,
conditions.
to assume fairness, because that's what's fair. This is the amount of work. It's this much tougher for them. They need this amount of extra because they can't work those hours, obviously, in order to get the same outright money. Now, you can say that that's unfair, but that's actually what's fair.
It's not unfair to the normal worker that you're going to get paid 5
No,
times.
that is exactly what's fair. The normal worker can do more work, and it's not as tough for them to do that. That's literally what the point is I'm trying to make.
So I'm just.
And, oh, if you want me or you yourselves to do this over again, well, yeah, but you're asking too much of me and expecting too much from me to be able to do this thing in this amount of time that you assume is fair, but it's like I wouldn't be able to do it in that time. I can't do it that quickly, and I can't do it that well. That's unfair on me.
So
But
we're
it's
gonna have to
fair for
find a
you to
job
want that to be
you
done
think is
properly.
fair.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's fair for you to
then
want
there's
it
no
done
point,
properly
Because we
in the
don't-
time frame that you would like it done.
John Tyler.
That's the point.
Okay, let's look all the stuff that I've thrown out and asked you
No,
about
no.
as far as
Listen
the
to
yard
it.
and the inside and outside the house. What kind of job do you think that you could do?
That is fair.
That's
not
kind of the
trying-
point I'm trying to make.
I want to know. Because
no,
that
no.
makes
Get
it-
that.
because
That's
then we
the
need-
point.
need to
That's
know
what
what
I
kind of work you
emailed
can
you
do.
back as. It's like, what jobs do you really think? That's in the email. Like, what jobs can you think of that would genuinely be something I could do? Like, a lot of manual labor isn't something that's very easy for me. I can kind of get some stuff done on a computer, but there's
We
a
don't-
point where you should really just go to someone as a professional. You know
We
what I
don't
mean?
need
That's
computers.
because
We
it's
don't
gotten
need
to
that.
such a degree that it's like you basically
Stop.
need to
That's my arm. You did that
reinstall
yesterday,
or
last week.
something like
No,
insane
no.
levels of
But
stuff.
so what
No,
you're
Faith.
saying
You
is
know.
that
No.
you can't do
No.
any manual labor.
No,
No, I can do some,
No.
What?
no,
but
What manual
No.
labor can you do?
Phaser, no. Go get that.
That's exactly what they would
no.
put.
The question is
That's
how
exactly what they
long?
put on a job application. Do you have any disabilities? Okay, my back is in pain. Okay, so what kind
Good
of
boy.
jobs can you
Just
you
like
lift
they asked
25
me.
pounds? Can you
No, I
those are
can't.
on
That's the point I try to
applications.
make.
That's okay.
That's the point. Like, I can barely lift 50 pounds. I can
Okay,
barely
leave it.
stand for an hour. I can barely, you know what I mean? Like, what is it that you're asking from me?
That's what I'm asking. Because based on that, then we can say, all right,
No, because that also changes based upon every day and what's worse. And I might be able to do that given day, but the next day in the following weeks, I might not be able to do that at all.
okay,
So that's just a text though. You say, hey, we're doing this weekend. Can you do any of this? No. So
Yeah, but,
then-
you know,
then-
keep
then
in mind,
you don't
too,
get paid for anything.
that if you're not able to do certain things certain days, then we can't pay you. And so you're not going to have gas money or oil change
Right, yeah,
money
no, which
or,
that's
You're
the
gonna have to
point I'm
accept
trying to
it.
make.
so you have to
You're
accept
gonna have
that.
to accept
See, it's
it.
like then it becomes unfair.
Out.
No, it's not.
No, but that's the point.
Most-
It is actually becoming
A
unfair.
lot
It's
of-
like, no, you are entitled to all this stuff. I'm not entitled to anything. No.
But you're saying you
But
are.
you're asking of me something that's literally not fair to ask of me.
Well, then we're not gonna
And
have
I'm
you.
willing to
and
do
then-
work that I
okay,
can.
but-
No.
okay,
Let
but-
me finish. I'm willing to do work that I can do when I can do it. But that's not always consistent, which is another reason why
I know.
SSI and SSDI is a thing and why jobs that are like that aren't often a thing that you can get into. You know what I mean? That's the point I'm trying to make. It's like, I literally need SSI. When you ask me to suddenly try and turn this into a job, you're literally asking something unfair because I'm trying to get
I
on
get-
SSI
I
that doesn't even
understand.
make sense. You don't even work a job. Like, you don't suddenly go, man, I'm going to, at, what are you, like 57, 58 now? You know what I mean? Right? And it's like, I'm going to become a manual labor person. Well, I can do manual labor, but manual
No,
labor
I get it.
is weeks of that, like hours upon hours and hours of that,
Well,
right? That breaks a person who's young, their body down. That's not something you can reasonably do. I'm not even at a point where
Okay,
I
so-
can do that.
Ow.
okay, so
You're
When you
asking
write a
literally
schedule-
unfair levels of stuff, and I know that you're going to take advantage of that because you're going to
No.
expect me to do a bunch of stuff
listen.
way too fast
You need to listen
that I can't
a
even do
little bit.
now.
Because, you know, I've done management, and I have had to
Man-
work with people that
You're my
that
mother.
have,
You're my mother.
I
John
know.
Tyler.
but
You're
you
not a
know,
manager.
So that week you don't get paid. We're not gonna pay you. 'cause
You have
can't
to
come over.
understand that if we don't do it this way and have it out in
We're
writing
not
and
gonna
everything
pay
for
to
you,
not come over.
there's a lot of a lot of stuff behind the scenes that you're going to be worried about that we're doing. And I want it all there in front of you so that you don't have any questions.
Okay, now
Okay.
you're already
Or
doing
you
the
don't.
little soft talk.
No,
Like,
I'm
no,
trying
it's you it's switched onto you that's
No,
so
this is
anxious.
an
I'm not anxious. Like, it is what it is. This is what I can do when I can do it. I don't care.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what you suggest. It's like, this is it. Like, I'm not going to force myself to be
We're
in pain
still-
just so that way you can feel comfortable.
I don't care. For us to feel
I'm not
like
bending
we're
over
doing
backwards
it right,
for you. I'm not going to fucking do that. You
Okay.
can't get me or convince me to do that.
You're not doing it. I am. What I'm saying
See what I
is-
mean? Already switched it. Now it's all me, woe is me.
It
We're the
is.
ones
It's all
that are.
about you. This is all about you and what
It's
you can
both.
do, and we need to figure
We're
out how
both
we can
in this
work with you.
together.
No,
Do you not see that? Like, just because it would be a thing that would be over. And by the way, we haven't even discussed. It's like, have you looked into whether or not I can have my name on that title?
you're not. We won't.
See, even though I can own it, it's going to switch over to me. I'm obviously doing work because I'm putting in work for this, which then means I'm also making sure that that money that's going into it is a part of me in my labor, which means I'm also a property owner of
No,
this thing.
no, what
That's
you are
literally
doing-
how
no,
that would work.
What you are essentially doing until you,
No, that's literally
No,
what I'm
it's not.
essentially doing.
you are, okay. When you,
Wow, that got you. You
No,
now have to
I'm trying to
reframe and do
find
the
the
mental
best-
gymnastics again.
listen, I'm trying to find
Semantic argument
the
again.
best way to explain this to you that would make sense.
Right.
Okay,
For you
when
to
you-
lie and
No.
basically
No.
make it seem
A
as though that would
person-
make sense.
A person buys a house
Sit down.
and they rent it out to someone. You're responsible when
Not
you,
the same
when,
thing.
Yes, it is. When you rent
This
that
is not the
house,
same thing.
you're
That would be a
responsible-
lease.
Sit down.
This isn't a lease of
No.
the camper van. That's the point.
it can be. You know, I mean, so it's gonna be. It's.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, but that's like
Like
literal,
I said,
like, come on, are you kidding
We
me?
don't have to do this
We
at
don't
all.
have to do this at all.
We don't have to
But
sit here.
you're
and
not-
Look,
argue
I'm
anything
allowed to
else.
laugh at that. That seems insane. It's
No,
like, no, I will now immediately, because
I'm
I
telling you,
want the
that's not
power.
ownership in this
Now
vehicle
immediately, I'm
until
gonna make
he
it a
can
lease.
Take care of it himself. Otherwise, this is our vehicle, and we are letting you use it. We are basically letting you rent it from us. And then when you rent something from somebody, you're responsible for the gas, just like in a house. You're responsible for the electricity and the water. And if you, okay,
Right.
if you,
Except it's paid off, and I'm now the one putting the money in.
no.
And then it will
Even
be
if the house
me
is
who
paid.
takes over it with my
Now, the one
SSI.
difference, I shouldn't brought it up, but
Do you
know,
see what I'm saying?
if you
Once I get on SSI, then it's my name, under my name, it's not yours.
if you want it under your name, then
No.
we will.
That's
our hands
co-ownership.
off.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's off. Our hands are off.
No. Let's put it this way. There are people that have money. They gather up a bunch of money, right? There's a person that goes, oh, I assume this responsibility of this, whatever it is, let's say it's a building. I will do the repair, maintenance, and make sure all the electricity and so on, right?
That's the landlord.
Right. There you go. They have a particular type of ownership under the law for that given building. So
Okay.
the whole thing that you're saying that my name wouldn't be on that
They
would
only-
now suddenly be irrelevant
In that
and
building, they
incorrect.
only own that business. They do not own that building. So anything
They have a
inside that vehicle, you
co-ownership.
decide
It's
to
not
put
just
seat
them. They have a co-ownership. They also have responsibilities like you're talking about. That is literally what that would be. So your example wouldn't be what I'm talking about.
Well, and that's right, because we won't do it. And if you want a vehicle, these
See what I
guidelines-
mean?
You're
See,
forgetting
you
one
see what I
point
mean?
in
Like
your
the
scenario.
landlord who repairs and does all this other stuff.
Covers all that.
But it's
They
like,
get
no.
paid from those people in that building. It's called rent.
Yeah, no, except you have no actual ownership. It actually, as long as you are not paying, as long as you keep paying, though, it depends.
They kick you out if you don't keep paying.
The
Yeah,
bank
and we-
that you took the mortgage out, they're the real owners. The bank really owns it. You don't. So the moment you stop paying them from the people who rent and pay you to pay them and whatever other money you might have to pay that real owner, which is the bank, suddenly
I totally.
will own it and you will have no
The
ownership
thing is, there's no bank if we pay cash.
Yeah.
So why are we bringing up this scenario?
because it's the same as the same thing where the person who's there who maintains and repairs and everything else has a degree of ownership over it.
That's called, what do they call that again on a house?
Rent to own.
Rent to own. But then a portion of it, see,
It's not rent
you're
to
still
own.
forgetting those people pay monthly to keep the building or keep the car. There's no pay monthly.
The
here.
person is
That's
paid
the-
by the
that's the
people who
disconnect.
own
They
the
don't pay us a
building to
dime.
stay
You're
in
not-
there
you're
to
not-
have
you're
a
not
given
paying us
degree.
a dime.
There.
Again, you're arguing, just like I said, you're going to argue semantics and a whole bunch of stuff, and it'll
It's not
break down, and then
semantics.
ultimately it's a
the
bunch of
law.
mental
It's called-
gymnastics to
it's
basically
how-
say
it's
I
how
don't
it's
feel
written
comfortable
up in the
doing this
law.
because essentially you would also have a degree of ownership over this thing,
That's
and
how
then
it's
we wouldn't
written
be
up.
able to argue anymore.
There is no ownership in rent to own. I get that
And
all the
you're
time.
gonna have to
John
understand.
Tyler, I have a degree
It is
in
not
what
happening.
you're talking
You're
about.
never gonna own that vehicle until you get on SSI, which means if you never get on SSI,
No, your name will be taken off of it.
We will still be paying for the insurance and all the maintenance and everything on that car.
Well, you said we're not. You're not. You
Huh?
said we're paying. You're paying. You're not paying the man.
Yeah, he obviously
No.
isn't going to be able
No.
to work.
I
That
do
doesn't-
this
you're not
work.
going to be able to work,
Right. I do this work for you.
which you.
That means that money that you're using to pay that would effectively go to me to then pay that. Wouldn't that be the case? Since you're going to pay me for this work, it's not just gas, it'd be insurance, maintenance, and everything else. You'd be paying
No.
me that money to pay
We're
for
not
those
paying you
things.
that much.
We're not paying for you. So we'll end up.
Right.
Well,
So
We're-
then it's like,
we're going to
well
end
then,
up eating it all. You know that?
No,
no, all the, whoa. You're not going to be eating?
Yeah, we will.
Wait.
Listen, we're tied here.
No, see,
We're
right? See what I mean?
I'm not doing it.
You're willing to
Insurance.
do this
not
The
doing
thing.
insurance. There's no way.
No.
you'll be able to afford the
Wait.
insurance by-
There's
So the
no
moment
way.
I brought up the fact that you would be able to pay me, since you were willing to pay me directly in my checking account, to ultimately afford the insurance myself, the repairs for myself, and all that.
We're not-
Anyways,
No, you're not paying
No,
the
we
insurance.
would never do that. That's
No.
why it's on our policy, so we don't have to pay as much money for it.
You
It's
wouldn't be
very
able to pay
expensive
the
for you to be
insurance.
alone
so
on your
no.
own
I
policy.
would be doing this work for this thing. That would then suddenly mean I'm now directly, because of the work, directly after you pay me the money, now means I would be doing all of the work to pay for the insurance, to pay for the
No.
gas, to
No.
pay
No.
for all
You
that.
got it back.
No.
Is not something you're comfortable
Because
with.
if you
No.
decided not
Even
to,
though, like,
hey,
no, don't
No.
scream. Don't scream.
You're not
if you
listening.
decided to not
You
do
have it
any
wrong.
work,
You have
if
it
you
wrong.
didn't do any work, you didn't do anything, and you sat on your butt in your room, in your house, and that car sat in your driveway with no gas in it, we are still paying for the insurance. We're still paying for the tax. Because you can't do anything.
No, because I would be able to have it in my name, and then I could go, oh, I won't drive it. I won't use it. I don't have to pay for the insurance, but it's still under my name, it's still with me, and you don't have any liability. You don't have
Okay.
anything on your side. Would that not be acceptable?
Put it in its name, and we'll drop it in your driveway, and it'll sit there until you can figure out a way to get money to drive it.
And if you
That's
dri-
okay.
And if you
I'm
drive it,
accepting of that.
If you drive it without insurance,
I'm
you're
not
the
going
one
to be
that will
doing that.
probably put in jail.
I wouldn't be doing that, but it's like,
oh, okay.
you're
well,
willing to pay me to do this
No,
work,
we're
right?
not.
Which is what we were talking about. Which would now make it much more fair, right, for the manual labor. It's like, oh, that amount of money, right? But it's like, all right, if it's that amount of money, but it's like only just for gas, that wouldn't make sense, right?
no.
But it's like, well, now it's repairs, maintenance, and the insurance, and it's
Well,
gas.
the other thing, in that case, you wouldn't even be able to drive over here to do the job because you don't have insurance on the car.
I would be paying for insurance from the money that
Okay.
you would be giving me for
Yeah,
the fucking
but-
labor.
But insurance is paid ahead of time. So learn this.
Which
lesson.
would mean I can then do some jobs and
Yeah.
then get that done, right?
So you're gonna have to have about $400 or $500.
And you would be able to take me to your home because you have your own vehicles to be able to do that,
Yep.
right? And then
Yeah.
what are we
Well,
talking
that's
about
what I
but
mean.
for the price of
Yep.
hourly wage
Yep.
for those given hours?
Yeah, if it sits
So
there,
then we
battery
basically
dies,
are at the same point. We're still good. You just done. So it's switched. Instead of you owning it, it would be me. I'd be paying for everything, and we were going to do that anyways once I get on SSI, right?
So if we do it now and then it sits there, it sits there.
What's the? Yeah, I don't see what the issue is.
Yep.
It doesn't seem like a bad thing. That seems like more fair for me and for you.
Yep.
I assume the thing, and you don't have to take on that issue. But it's like also. It's still the same issue of we need to make sure it's fair for manual labor, right? Like I can help every so often. There's still rest periods. Are you going to pay me for if it's like the break for a rest period or not? Is this going to be this day and this day and this day when I have time, or is it this is what we're trying to talk about, which has become way too heated? You started screaming and yelling. I'm trying to calm it down.
We like the hourly thing. Go see what the laundry time says.
It says 5 minutes.
So,
But
we like the
then our
hourly
schedule has to work around you.
thing. That's the other thing.
That's
We're
schedule-
not willing to
that's-
have our schedule work around you
So
all the time.
that's another thing where your mom will never go. Because she goes, I want
What?
this painted this weekend.
No.
No,
What if
you are
we
that.
have
What?
plans?
You
What
are
if we have
absolutely
plans
that
to go
way.
do something? Oh, this is the only time I'm feeling like I can come over and do some work for you.
I
Then we
also
have to
have
cancel what we're doing.
appointments. I also have a life.
That's right. So we have
That,
this.
Mom,
that you know what I mean?
same.
Like,
You're always like
what?
that.
I also have things in my life that I need to go to and do. That didn't just magically go away and disappear.
You're not like
That's
that.
like scheduling
Your
ahead
mom's
of
always
time.
been like
It's
that. Let's
schedule
get this
ahead of
done
time.
now.
No. It's schedule ahead of time, and then I can probably get something done. Hopefully, providing that none of my disabilities get in the way, which is another reason why it's like, that's why SSI is a thing. You can't always get something done.
Oh yeah, that take forever. But
This is another reason why I didn't want to have like this huge argument.
your mom always, I can see, and time wise, she always wants it done now. This is what we're
Yeah,
doing
okay,
this
but then
weekend.
that needs to be fair.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
which
that's
doesn't
a-
need to be.
That's a
But it's like
whole
that's on
nother
her.
discussion.
I can't do something just magic up
That's a whole nother
ableism
discussion.
suddenly to happen just so she gets what she wants when she wants it. That's not going to magically occur. That's not what that is.
That's not a whole nother discussion.
Just like, you know, my people that assess me and most likely judge or whatever else in my SSI stuff, it's like, it's not going to magically change just because you XYZ this now or belief of that, or this should be fair because of, oh, I did this amount of work extra this fast. And it's like, yeah, except I can't do it that fast. That's the complete, like capitalism preaches individualism, but then it's like once it becomes, oh yeah, no, I can't do the same thing, I don't like that.
Can we agree on anything that you can do that we can write down and say, this is what, can we do any of that? And say, you know, okay, this is what he can do. And so, no, I don't understand why you don't want to.
Because
write
that
anything
changes.
down.
That's a dynamic thing. See, that's what I'm trying to get across.
You
That might be okay this day, but these days, because that's how that works for me and my abilities, right? It might not be something I can do then.
Okay, but when you are able to do something, can't we say today, when I'm feeling like
Because-
I'm good, I can probably help you rake leaves for an hour.
Right,
Or
but that would be dependent on that given day.
She already
Okay,
said that.
I know that.
She
Right,
prefaced
which
But
would be you'd
then-
have to text me, and then it'd be that whole thing, which that would be okay and
what
acceptable,
you said.
but then you
That's
would
what I'm
have to
trying to
accept
figure
that
out.
if it's not something I could do.
Okay,
That's
then
something.
we have to, you know, but do you need gas? Are you willing to push yourself to get gas? If you're not,
Oh, I'm gonna push myself to experience a bunch of pain and suffering
No,
that
don't even
basically
bring that
makes
up.
my shit
Don't-
worse
don't do
later.
that.
because he
You
needs
can't
gas.
Dangle
It's
this
his
little
car.
fucking thing in
It's
front of
his
you.
problem.
Ooh.
There's no insurance on it or nothing. He's not going to be able to drive it anywhere. He's what we just said when you left. If he buys a car and sits it there, he's going to have to work up money. I told him insurance is paid ahead of time. It's not like you can pay it per day. You're going to have to work up $400 or $500 to pay your first 6 months insurance before
Right,
you're
which
even going to be
which
able to
I
roll
like
car
that
off the
conversation
lot.
real fast.
Roll off
Like
the car.
you were planning on being accepting of helping me have insurance, right? From the start, when it was in your name, but then now that it's going to be in my name, you would not
You
want
just
that.
said you were going to take it all.
I can take that on, but then it's
You
like,
just said
why
you
did
would.
all of a sudden the goodwill of that go away the moment it was in my name?
Because you just said you said.
Because it's in your name.
Yes, it's
If
in
it's
my
in our
name.
name, we're going to be responsible and have it all taken care of.
Right, but if it's bought, which is what you're saying, and you're gonna drop
you
it
just
off.
said you didn't do that. 'Cause
Hey,
you
hey,
said
hey.
that.
So do
See,
I have to
that's
work
what
up money
changes
for
with
the?
you.
No.
5 minutes ago, you
Let me
said
finish.
it's my car. I'm gonna put in my name, and
That's
all
not
we're
what
got
I
to
said
do-
at
yeah.
all, but
See, now you're
okay.
changing because you realize,
Right.
oh, I got to
Now-
pay ahead of time.
So
Yeah, you have to pay.
no. So you're willing to pay $6,000 to $7,000 for this car, and then you were willing to be on insurance immediately or
It's
very
under our
soon
name,
thereafter,
sure.
thereafter, right?
Sure.
But now it's like, right, except, well, I'm going to basically make you work harder because I feel petty and passive aggressive.
no.
This is what it's looking like for
No.
me. to
No,
effectively have you be on insurance,
your own insurance.
my own insurance, yes, which would be fine. It was going to be insurance on either, regardless. My name is going to now suddenly be on your insurance, or I'll have my
No.
own insurance, which
No,
is fine.
it cannot be in
See what
your
I'm saying?
name on our insurance.
That's what I'm
so
saying.
if it's in your name, it has to be your
Let
own
me
policy.
finish, please. So now that it's in my name, it's going to be in my insurance, is what I'm saying. So it's switched, yes, but then it's just money that you would have been paying anyways. Might
No.
be more, but it's still the same thing. So it's like you were effectively,
you skipped something.
no, there's no skipping.
You skipped. Just because we were paying insurance and we have the ability to pay ahead of time doesn't mean we weren't charging you the insurance. We would still charge you the insurance.
There you go. Which would still, but you were, no.
the
You were
maintenance to
willing
fix
to
it.
do the insurance. Did you not just hear it? You were willing to say,
No, that's
I'm
not-
going to
that's
put
not
you
what I
on the
said.
insurance,
That's
Hold
all I
on.
said.
even though it's under your name and it's all
Just
that.
like your mom
So
said,
now that it's under my name,
if
I'm
it
not
broke,
willing
it's
to
your
do that
money to
until
fix it,
after.
Just like your mom said.
So I'm going to tell you this, John. If
So I caught you in that.
I'm telling your dad something, okay? If we were to put the vehicle in our name and put it on our insurance, and he's working to pay for gas and whatever, he will never be able to work enough to make the difference to pay for all that stuff that we're going to put into it. He's never going to be able, because he can't. You can't. You cannot work a
That's
job.
pay scale
So we
for my
are-
disability,
and
which
what
you
we
were
are
uncomfortable with.
Wait.
What we are doing is we are taking on that financial part of it. Now, if you put it in your name and you want to take the financial part of it on yourself, then you have to understand that just like a normal person, a person on disability, you have to have enough money coming in to pay that bill. And sometimes you may have to push yourself to go do something to get that extra money to pay your monthly insurance. I'm just telling you, that's how it works.
Okay.
Okay?
Now, that was already known. You were already going to pay this money. You were not willing, but wait. You were willing to pay all this money on your side. But the moment I do this work for you, but because I don't want to pay you appropriately and fairly, knowing that you would have to now pay for
Why
your
do you
own
keep saying
insurance,
that?
and no, let me finish.
No,
I didn't
I'm tired of you
I
saying
didn't
that.
interrupt you.
It's
didn't
not
interrupt
right.
you. I
It's
didn't
not
interrupt you.
happening.
So it's like, now
No,
that's fair.
I'm not listening.
You have this disability. You have these issues. You have to work this much harder. And I was unwilling before, but now for the insurance and for all of this, that you would be willing to work. But no, also, we can't always give you a job, which we just stated.
We never said that.
But I'll find something somehow. But I'll usually probably think that it should be done this way, which is kind of what you were implying. But then we're going to move off. So, like, whatever feelings are there. But then this job amount, which is difficult for you, and you want it to be,
Enough.
something
Enough.
that you can
Enough.
do.
Get to the point.
I am getting.
No,
that
you're
is
just
the
going
point.
on and on and on.
Let's
Joe,
put it, I can.
Hey,
I
I
know what
wasn't
you're saying.
finished. Hey. So, I'm
Enough
doing the
pigs.
job.
That's enough
I'm
pigs.
getting paid enough for insurance by you guys, because now it's that. This is literally what it is. So I'm getting paid enough for insurance and gas, and to be able to keep maintaining the vehicle, right? So I'm doing enough jobs for that. It's under my name, but that would mean that that's the manual labor, that's the amount, that's the fare, that's what you were already going to put in for money and all the rest of it that would have been there. Now I'm assuming that labor cost, which you said that you could do, you said that you'd be able, but it's like, no, we can't, and no. And then before you were willing to pay for the insurance outright from the start, well, it's suddenly changed because it's under my name, but it's like, well, I did the job. I was going to be doing the job. So then I don't see how that changed.
I get
So
it.
I would be on insurance from the start. I'd be able to do the job for the gas money. I'd be able to do all that. And it's still going to be paid such that I'm getting this income from you, which is what you're going to go with, for me to continue paying that. Nothing's really changed except that the ownership and the amount of money I'm being paid is appropriate for insurance, which you tried to just say it wouldn't be.
Well, you made yourself, so you're going
to have to be fair about that.
You made your insurance costs more. What we are doing is having your insurance costs less, and we are not. I get, you know what, John?
But I would be
Wait,
doing
wait,
that
let me ask-
anyways
let me
once
ask
I
you
get on
something.
SSI.
What if we said, okay,
SSI is going to be at least 3 years.
I'm just throwing
But I'm
numbers.
allowed to do that.
I'm throwing numbers out, okay? Let's just say, this is not concrete, anything, that a wall on the thing, it's $100 to do that. But he can't do it all by himself, right? So 25% of it, it's going to be our responsibility. I'm trying to figure out how that would work so that, and you know, like if we were, maybe whatever, we add 25% on to whatever it is we're going to pay him, like with a normal wage, so that it's fair. I'm trying to figure out what would be fair to pay you when you're disabled and you cannot work normally, and you want to get paid more so that you're not in poverty. Trying to figure out, we cannot, so what we could do, you make, okay, hear me out. It's $100 to do that wall. Okay?
Somehow.
And so he wants to use it all for gas. So we add, or let's say that it costs $100 for a tire, and you've got $50. Okay, so we're willing to pay the other $50.
Here, that's the thing I'm getting at. Okay, so
Well, maybe we should
let me go this way. So
we'll work on half of it or 3/4. We'll pay the other quarter or half, whatever.
that's the thing.
So this is kind of what I
Let me
was
say
talking
something.
about, though, isn't it?
Here's the situation I wonder about getting into, like
Okay.
you just said. Okay, so we got to have this amount this week to pay whatever we're paying. Well, I can't do that this week. I don't feel good or whatever. The bill people don't say, "Oh, okay, we'll get you next week." We end up having to pay for it, and then we're at his mercy about when he can do it. That becomes an issue.
Does
That I can see happening.
So,
like I said, insurance
concerns are
comes up
valid.
at one time.
All right. I'm glad that you're thinking for yourself and for me, right?
Mhm.
For me, it turns into, so would it become more fair for a job or a couple of jobs for the total cost of what it is I'm talking about, instead of trying to do an hourly, which is what I started with, which would be more normal for a family to try and do?
Yeah, it's called chores in a way,
Right.
but you get paid.
Which
for
is
chores.
essentially what this is.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So would that not be more fair and more easily done?
It depends on what you consider fair.
No. It does not.
Half the job.
Job for the total cost of that gas, for that tire,
Yeah.
for whatever it is, versus trying to make it an hourly and trying to dollar cents all
Okay,
of the
so
stuff.
here, like you
Because
just
that
said,
would make it a lot easier.
see, yeah. So we have branches out there. Oh, I want $125 to clear those branches. Yeah.
Oh, the branches that are super easy for you and it seems like it's nothing, but for me would
Well,
not be the
branches are
same.
a pain in the butt
Which
for
you
us.
agreed would be the case and fair to.
That's the hard part about it.
But if we
Right. So
Listen,
it would be
listen.
for you seen as it's not enough work. So how many jobs is what we'd be
Yeah.
talking about?
That's the
So
thing.
if we said, for example, we're going to cut that tree down. We have 2 trees we're going to cut down, and they're essentially big long branches. Now, what I was going to do for
So
myself,
she ignored what I
because I
said.
figured you'd be at work and I would be doing this
This is
myself.
literally what this
I
would be
cannot
about.
carry those branches all by myself, even with the truck just pushed in there or backed in. I was going to have to cut all those branches into size so that I can load them into the truck. Right?
Right.
So that's
So is
something
it the
too. We need to
entirety
find
of
a
all
way.
of that? Or is it the cutting and then the loading and then the
No,
moving
but
them
with
over?
you
The whole
there-
thing. I mean, you got to
Wait,
find a
wait.
way to make it so that you
Is
can do
each
the
one
job.
of those a job, or is a whole thing a
Wait,
job?
wait,
Or
wait.
how many jobs
saying
would it
is-
be to
What she's
cost for
saying
that?
is, with you there, the lighter branches she wouldn't have to cut. You could help.
You're not
carry
listening
it.
to me.
Or I can cut them all up and you can load them into the truck. Or you can cut
So,
them all up and I load them into the truck.
So we're
That's
going to go with
physical labor,
jobs, right? Chores, right? Jobs for the total cost of whatever it is I'm talking about. That's what we're doing now. instead of hourly. Okay, so we've already assumed this is what's going on.
I'm really having a hard time with the cost, giving him a job and saying we're going to pay you this much to do. And if we say we're going to pay you this much to do it, is it going to be a big debate? How you think that we're
that's
cheating you again?
Total job for what I say. Hey, I need help for this. Then it's like, this is what we need help with. This is what we need help with. And then like I need it to be, and so we schedule it, and then we go, okay. Then I schedule it on mine. I make sure it works around that. I'm able to have that time to get it all done. And that now means I get that money for that thing I need. Would that not be acceptable?
I have a
But it
great
has to be
idea.
done first.
That seems like it'd be acceptable.
I have a great idea, okay? Barakaya and her family, the ones that took out that
Yeah.
satellite dish, I paid them $300 for the job.
That's the
And they
charter.
worked their butts off getting that thing taken. They did not damage the fence. They didn't damage the
There's
roof.
nothing
They
he
didn't
can do.
damage the side of the
I
house.
can't do it.
Huh?
It's nothing he can do or I can do. So.
That you're not letting me.
Right, which is
Now
an
that-
unfair comparison.
Now that they are doing more jobs, and I would like to talk to her because I don't think they get hourly. I think they get paid by the job. And I can honestly come up to her and say, for a situation, because they have.
So you need to go to someone else, a third party that has no bearing on my abilities as to get involved in all my stuff to make it seem more fair for you. That doesn't really seem reasonable.
I think it's time to put the clothes in the dryer.
Right.
What is
Don't
reasonable?
throw your clothes in the dryer.
I need
We
to
just
have
told you. Like,
some
what
sort
would
of
you feel
baseline.
no, not we. What would feel reasonable for this many number of jobs for you to feel as though it was fair for you to pay me this amount of money for the things I need?
What if
That's what that would be.
Do you know what they do? They
So
do
I'm
yard.
going to go put this away. You are obviously
bad
trying to
idea?
spin. That's what this
Watch
has
out,
turned
watch out
into.
for
It's
tail.
clear. That's up to you. It's not me. You'd be the ones. I just have to go, yes, but I have these issues, and then this would be this much more difficult for me, which you
Okay.
would have to, you'd have to agree, which would mean it costs more than what they would be able to do it in, or what you would assume for yourselves would be fair. All right, that's what that would end up becoming.
So no matter
Alrighty.
what.
So, from what I last came in or left at, we're at, now it's at an individual job by job, and moving forward, we'd be determining it from there.
So we were saying is it sounds like, let's say that it's going to cost $50 to do the wall. We have to pay you $75.
So it'd be job by job, and it'd be determined from moving forward each individual job, which is literally what that is, and it would depend on how many jobs to ultimately pay off whatever it is that we end up seeing fair, with me being this disabled and you having this concern as to it being this easy but not actually as easy for me. So
Right.
we've already established what I just said with you saying that I was correct, that this is what we're doing moving forward, and we'd have to determine it moving forward. Now, will I have insurance like you were going to do before? That's what I would like to know. I would like to still have insurance from the get-go
No.
from that,
No.
right?
If
Because
it's
that
in your
makes
name-
sense to do,
If it's in your name, you are responsible for starting the policy, not us.
which I'd be fine finding and searching for while I was searching for a van, right? I'm not looking at you because basically, honestly, you're upset.
I'm not upset.
You're clearly upset. All right, and I'm kind of tired of it because it's like you're using that emotional reasoning
I'm not
right now.
going to let you convince us.
I'm not convincing you of anything. I just, you know what I mean? I'm making sure it's fair for me. It was already going to be a job to job, it seems like, anyways. Instead, you wanted to turn it into an hourly so you can nickel and dime my ass to make it very much more like you have a lot more power over this.
That's
And I
so
removed
much-
that.
that
Now
is
you're
so
angry
wrong.
about that.
That
That's
is
standard
so
stuff.
wrong. I thought that if we did hourly,
That's basically what that is. So it's like job by job moving forward. You're already going to pay for the insurance anyways. So what do I have to do moving forward to have it as right then in there for the insurance?
You have
Because
to start
apparently it's going to be
working
no. I wasn't going to give you the insurance, and then we would be paying for
Well,
gas
I
or
said
whatever
the
afterwards,
insurance
like a
is
good
paid
normal
ahead of time,
person
but-
would probably do. Instead, now I'm going to do the weird person thing where I'm like not going to give you anything.
You don't know what you're talking about.
You know what I mean?
You don't know.
That's literally what that would be. But like, okay.
You don't know what you're talking about.
No, I'm pretty sure a lot of parents would probably do that. Like, no, look, I'll get you for like a week or a month or like whatever it is for insurance. You know, get temporary tax, title, all that, and make sure that we could work moving forward to have this.
Most parents
like you were going to do. Like you were literally going to do that when it was in your name, but then like now that's in my name, it's like no, I'm not willing to do the normal person thing.
Slow down. In the cost that you would have to work off.
No, I get it because it's like, you know, I want to say that this would not be, and it's like no, that's exactly what that would be, but it doesn't matter. So it's like what moving forward would make you feel comfortable with allowing for me to be able to have my van immediately. Right, which by the way would basically be cheaper than having to get it towed all the way and then dropped off at my doorstep. Like it seems far cheaper if I would be able to have the insurance ready to go, be able to drive it back, and all of that. Wouldn't that be cheaper?
What do most people do when they are getting ready to buy a vehicle? And
no, I mean that's not where it's going to turn into something that is not actually the case, and the majority of people don't do that. Most people don't, most likely.
And they are saving their money so the best option for you is to start working and to put your money into savings so that when you're ready, you have to tell the insurance company, I'm going to go pick up this vehicle.
Let me get this straight.
And they will fax you and email you.
Let me get this straight. I just want to hear you right now. This thing that would piss you off moving forward, where it would be a job by job, and then it would pay for whatever individual thing that I need at that given point, is now no longer something you want to do, and you want to establish a monetary value for each given job before I ultimately get the vehicle in the first place.
You said you wanted a monetary value on your job.
Monetary hourly value for each given job, which would be now different than what it is we'd be saying.
You said you wanted a monetary
Which is literally what you're trying to do. You're trying to gain back control and power when you're not going to have it.
Why do you not try to make it seem like we're
Because that's what you're doing.
No,
you're doing that.
You just said.
There is no I just said. I said, so I'll find the vehicle. I'll be able to go, we'll buy it, and then I can then do jobs to continue making sure I can pay for each one of the individual things I need.
No, you don't understand.
Instead of paying anything off,
everything has to be
and
paid.
We are not buying
you have to get it.
Your dad and I are buying it.
Instead of paying anything off, I would then have those things completed, so that way when you did buy the vehicle, I would immediately be able to have you guys pay for the insurance, and then I'd have it for, 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is, right? And instead of having it in this money thing, right, which somehow established that, whatever it was, the amount of money. Because, like, I know that's going to be its own, and this, and that, and I actually think it's this. And it's like, no, it's going to be this money for this vehicle, and this insurance for this amount of time, and then moving forward, I'll be able to do these jobs on top of the ones I already just did, which is what I'm saying, to then now have those things taken care of. Right?
All right, so what are you going to do before the vehicle is purchased?
You got to earn money.
You've got to earn some money before you get the vehicle.
You got to save.
I literally just asked that. But holy fuckola!
Write it down.
I'll tell you
you
what,
guys are idiots.
Let's take a break.
Why?
Retards.
Why not? He's not getting it. You gotta have money.
You're not listening to me, obviously.
Well, what
we're saying.
I just said that.
On the same page. So
you have to pay.
Yeah, no, I want to argue. I want to argue. I want to argue. I want to argue. Let me have the control and power I need.
That's exactly what you're
that's you.
That's literally you.
That's
yeah.
You.
That's literally you. That's why I'm mimicking you.
I'm trying to write down something concrete.
Yeah, it's literally what I'm asking. So, what's the time frame? How long until you think you could ultimately, if I find a fucking van, you'd be able to go over there and do it? What's the time frame?
We can do it that day.
Today? What if I did it today? What would you then now have for me as a labor job? If I found something today, what would you do? Right.
How far are you going to have to drive and get it?
Right?
Because there's nothing in town. So you
Well,
wanna watch
first
what
of
you're
all-
saying.
We can have you go out and paint. We can have you go out and rake those
Right. Now,
gravel.
I want
We
to
can have
ask
you
this
rake
real.
weeds out front. Okay,
I want to
there's-
ask this real quick.
But you have
Why
to find
did you change your
insurance.
mind from having insurance ready to go to I'm going to pay extra money to have it towed to your apartment?
I didn't say
No,
anything
we
about
wouldn't.
I didn't say anything about towing anything to anything.
Oh, he didn't either.
Drop it off your happy ass's house is what you screamed at me, right? So
I'm
it's
not
like,
saying
but
that
it'd be in your
because of
name
that
and you wouldn't
this
be able to
time.
use it and all this other shit. So it's like you're still getting the vehicle, but here's this thing. I'm like,
See, you can put the vehicle in your name. We could still drive it to your house. We have.
you wouldn't be able to go.
No,
See, literally, you still have to put it on the insurance.
You in the van, you're in
we're
the
not.
vehicle you're
If
in.
he puts it in his name, we are not driving that thing anywhere. That's his responsibility.
Literally right there. So it's like, why would
why?
it be
I would
that
drive it
I
to
wouldn't
the
have
house.
insurance
Why
to be able to
can't
get
you?
it back?
We're covered with our insurance. I think.
See what I'm saying,
you
Dad?
are covered.
That's what I said. We would drive it to his house and leave it there.
And I bet you State Farm would not take care of anything on his car.
That-
Only the liability that you might cause to somebody.
Yeah.
We're not going to repair it.
You
They're
still have
not
to
gonna repair
pay
that car.
for money to
State
put
Farm
it
doesn't do
onto
that.
your insurance. Are you listening to yourself?
He's
So,
just
like,
getting
clearly that
technical.
doesn't make sense. What I'm trying to tell you is, what would it have changed to just make it so I could look for the insurance policy and then I could have that money? Like, what changed? Where'd you? I'm not going to
He's
just deal.
done.
No. I'm not dealing with just you. Until he comes back, this is what this is going to be. You just decide to dodge
You're
actually
not-
trying.
you're not-
That's a fucking deflection move if I've ever seen one.
Looking at the door.
All right. I just want to know.
Oh, boy. You're
I
a
just want to know why it is you switched your mind from allowing me to have insurance from the start. Like, if I found the policy, you would be willing to pay for it along with the vehicle, right?
Depends on how much the policy is.
You were willing to pay for it with your. It still costs.
I'm
Hey,
gonna tell you right
hey,
now.
She says.
both
I'm
of you,
telling you
you
right
still
now,
would have had to have
I
paid
am
money.
not willing to pay for his
Stop
insurance.
interrupting!
I'm not
You still would have had to pay money to put it onto your insurance.
She says no then.
because it's in our name.
You can't put it under our insurance in your name.
No.
You still would have had to pay money to have that vehicle put onto your insurance,
That's
even in
the
your
way
name.
It works.
Even in your name.
And it's a way
Because it's
different cost. It's a way different
It's
cost.
gonna
It's a
cost
way
you
different
more.
cost. Right. But you would have been willing to do it before.
$200.
So what
No,
would have
we're
changed?
not willing to pay extra money because you want to keep a vehicle in
There,
your name.
that-
No, they
that's-
need to do is scream,
That's-
so that way they
that's the
finally
point you're
fucking like
missing.
let me just
You're
have a word in
not willing to pay
standard
the extra
narcissist
money.
behavior. They want you to
We're not.
act
We're not-
similarly.
You can't
They
afford that
respect
vehicle,
when you
and
are
you want us
selfish
to
like
pay
them.
everything out on it. We're
See,
not doing it.
see,
If you
that's
want
what-
the
That's the
vehicle
point you're
and
missing.
you want the help,
We're not
then
willing
it
to
goes
pay
in
the
our name
extra
on our
money.
policy.
So
All right,
our
I'm back.
policy, listen,
So
look, I get
I'm
to say
actually sitting
something.
down. I
get to
got
say
some cup
something.
of
Let
water.
your dad talk.
So.
Oh,
we-
and now he has to talk, right?
we
But you
put
were
it-
both over talking
We
and
put it
yelling at me.
We put it in our name, $200, baby. We put it in your name, $1,000. We're not willing to pay that extra money.
No.
But it ain't gonna be $1,000. I'll tell you that much.
We do
Exactly.
insurance-
How much this thing that you
I've
didn't
done
research already,
insurance
and it
for
would
the
be
last-
impossible for you to know.
I've done insurance.
You, the
for last
insurance,
30
both of you,
years.
the insurance
30 years.
salespeople.
Yeah.
How much?
That's why we are not doing it. We know.
That's why we're not doing it.
Okay, so
Yeah,
here's
okay.
the- okay, so let's say it's $500 versus $200. You
Two,
would have
it was $200 to put on your state
whatever
farm.
it is.
We
You
don't-
have to come up with the extra. You would have to. come
You're
up with
an insurance salesman. You don't know how much it would have cost for you to put it on your state farm?
We
Not
know.
yet.
We can guess.
I think she.
We have to call them.
Okay, so then guess what it would have been, and then guess what would have been slightly extra for someone that has no record of any kind that would
It's not
make
the
it
record.
be
Okay,
incredibly
okay.
expensive.
It's not the
Listen,
record. It's
listen,
not the record.
listen. If it's a
There's no.
if it's a 2000, just a 2000 Dodge Ram with a cap.
Oh, is this from back when you used to
No,
work
are you
back in
listening to-
mid 2010s?
Listen, I'm guessing. If we
Okay,
wanted
so
to put
but
it
you would
to-
be a bad guesser because
Will you
he's
shut-
actually the one that's still in the
You
freaking
don't-
thing.
You don't know how insurance works. It's based.
He does more than you now.
It's
He knows the
not
same
a
thing.
change.
So what would it be?
It would be
It's the
that
same-
it depends on the vehicle.
It depends on the
That year, make
vehicle.
and model,
but
Okay,
Let me
so
say
then
something.
you're asking me to come up with something you can't come up with because it's complicated.
No, it's not.
Here's what you're
That's
missing.
what you were just saying.
No, you're not. You're not listening.
Here's what you're missing. You're not.
Clear your brain, son.
Can I talk?
Clear my brain. Okay.
Here's what you're missing. Insurance
I'm missing
is
something.
rated
Listen.
on your credit. You say I have a good driving record, which you do, and no accidents. Doesn't really mean that much. It's the credit score that's going to mean the much.
Yeah.
So I get that all the time in the business. Why is this so much? But I can't say you have lousy credit because
Yeah. Go on to creditcardkarma.com and you can get your credit score.
see what
I already
your
know
score
what my
is.
credit score is.
What
It
is
hasn't
it?
changed for like 7-10 years.
What
now.
is
What
it?
is it?
I'm not gonna tell you that.
Okay, whatever.
But like, give
So-
me a rough basic.
So
A rough basic.
Oh.
Yeah.
okay.
What's 600, 650, 700, 750? What's that?
Oh,
What's
We
the
don't have
difference
that.
between 50 and 100 of a point of a score?
John.
I would say you're talking at least a couple $100 difference.
Between a 50 or 100?
Well,
Monthly?
here's your rating factors. One.
No, don't do that.
Let
He
me.
doesn't
No,
care.
stop.
He doesn't care.
No,
He wants
let
to
me
tell
do
you
it.
now. You're going way deep.
No, I like it. Let me learn.
So
Well,
one.
now you're going to listen.
Well, I was already listening.
One, not married. Two, male. Male, not married. That's going to affect the rate higher. Three, no home ownership. Goes.
I'm
goes
leasing
higher.
a place,
insurance.
so
Well, I'm going there.
Yeah.
Four, it's going to ask you prior insurance. These are the steps I go through. So then you go to prior insurance. Do you carry any renter's insurance? No. No bundle discount. So all those are going to take the rate higher. You probably go from 200 to 550 to 600.
Yeah, if you were to go,
a month or a year?
I'm talking the 6-month policy.
6-month policy.
So
Okay.
it can change within.
So
I'm
But then you were
$600,
asking about credit
$800.
score.
Yeah.
So credit score, but those are entirely. So what would the credit score ultimately end up impacting on that?
A lot.
if your credit score is bad,
A
you
lot
might
doesn't
get
give
no
me
decision.
much.
Well,
But
I can't tell
okay.
you, maybe $150, whatever you want. See, you're like a person that calls.
No,
Well,
no,
what's
I
making my
don't
rental?
know.
I
You're the
can't
one that
tell you one
knows.
exact thing.
That's the point I'm trying to ask. It's like, all right, so you ask this, and then it's like, this changed it about this much. And of course, depending on the insurance, I'm sure they have different rates because of different
why you gotta-
willingnesses to accept certain risks.
Yeah, and you
Which
gotta
then,
call
of course,
around.
also changes based upon a given type of credit score, which is what you're talking about. And every single
All
one
of
of the
them go
companies
credit
have their own
score.
little algorithm and how it is they scale their pay.
Yeah.
So if we were to go a plus or minus of 200 at max, depending on any given type of insurance. Now, we're not talking about the most insurance. Is it a credit score of like, what, 50 or is it 100? If it's 100, then we're talking, that's the, what, 100 to more is a difference, right? Right. So then that then turns into, because I'm listening to you, like 600 or 500, what you're talking about for 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's 5 months to come up with enough jobs to get a fucking $500. So I would seem
No,
to
you
think
just
that that
missed
would be
it.
reasonable
You
to
missed
eventually
it.
happen.
Insurance is paid ahead of time. You have to have that money first.
Exactly. Now, that's what I'm trying to ask you. If you were willing to pay for the insurance, which you were going to do anyways,
No.
but this amount of money, like if you can look at that amount of money for what that vehicle would be, and then the separate money that I can now then, because you were willing to afford this money that you were going to pay for if it was in your name and everything else. So that's already established as money you were willing to pay. Now this on top of it would be money that I would have to then do this labor to now afford. If you know what that's going to be, then we can get that difference sorted out. And
No.
then we
And-
can get
And
the vehicle paid,
you have to pay it first, too.
which we can then go pay because you'd be paying for this vehicle
No.
money
No, we
and
wouldn't
this
pay it.
insurance
You have to
because
have
I would have.
insurance money difference first.
No, don't scream.
Yeah, yeah.
I would be able to do that labor and have that money, and then this money you're already establishing, you would be willing to have paid,
No.
and then I would take on the accepted labor cost for that given money difference. Would that not be acceptable?
But you have to do it beforehand.
That's fine. That's what I'm saying.
After what?
You have to have it before we bought the vehicle.
That is acceptable. I just said that's exactly what I'm looking to do.
So
Why? We said that already a half an hour ago.
And
That's what I said.
we had to argue a whole
Gotta
bunch
break it
because
down.
you were very, very adamant you would not pay for this accepted
Up front.
difference up front
No, we weren't.
after I did the labor somehow, which I'm saying I did the labor ahead of time,
Oh.
right?
Now
Which
that's
was
not what
already
we said.
established and said by me
That's
multiple
not what I
times.
said.
You have to pay it ahead of time
You have to work to get the money
to be able
to
to
be
pay
able to
the.
start your
Yeah,
policy.
and
when
then
you
I
buy your
asked the
vehicle.
question, which is what got us to this point. Why did that change? Because you were unwilling to accept that difference of money because it would not be in your name. And that's fine. That's a boundary
right.
for you.
We're unwilling
But
to
that's a
accept that
willing
difference.
no, that's
Okay.
a willing boundary for me to have ownership over this on the title and to pay the insurance. I will do this work ahead of time. When I find the vehicle, when we've established it's now mine, when we've established this is to put it on your state farm, this amount of money you would have been willing to accept, and then this difference that I will take as these number of jobs for manual labor
Where did I get
for
on
this
our
insurance
state farm?
cost.
No, what you're not listening. What he's saying is we would get a rate as if we put the van on our state farm. Call it what it is. Listen, you're not
Oh,
listening.
I see.
It's in our name. Let's say it costs $250 to put it on ours. So we're not going to do that. You're going to have a nice agent to find you, or you can call around insurance companies and ask.
No, because we'd have to re-rate everything, and I don't want
I'm
our
not-
stuff out
you're
there.
gonna have to
we'll
find
get all
out
kinds
somehow.
of mail and emails
You'll
and
have to find out.
crap.
No, you're not listening to that part. Again, you stop. You stopped him. What I'm saying is he would have to call and see how much his insurance. We could find out how much it would be for him to be on State Farm by himself
with
with a van,
on our policy.
both ways. If you want to ask the agent, that would be nice.
You know, we live here.
Or that way we would know the difference. And then if he wants to call around, he would call around other insurance companies to see how much it would be in himself only. We don't put our name on it. He's calling in his name and seeing how much the insurance is. See, that's you gotta let it go that far. So all we would do is check the difference between ours on ours, because then it would be titled in our name and he would be listed on it. And then well, you're gonna have to.
Write down what your responsibility is going to be.
I'm already
I'm
well aware
writing
what
down.
this is.
We will
But
find
it's
out
like, okay, so
cost
you've
adding-
understood what I'm going at and trying to get across, right?
But
This
then
is what you were willing
I
to
can't
pay.
handle the whole.
This is what I can now pay
we're there
from
already,
this
so don't worry
labor,
about it.
right?
So,
Right.
but
So
it
we've
has-
already established.
again,
I'm going to call
it has
around.
to
We already
be
established
paid
all
ahead
that.
of time.
So
Yeah,
you're getting
up
into
front.
semantic details that are pedantic at best.
What's the matter, big boy? Come on. Again, it's got to be money up front. It can't be.
No, that'd be labor cost up front for me. And we already established it's going to be
Ooh,
money up front, which you would have to pay the money up front from that guy or gal or whoever it
That's
is.
you're not getting
And then
it.
on top
He
of it,
still wants you to pay the money up front.
no, you have to
to
have the
the
money up
vehicle
front.
person. Yeah, no, you have to pay them.
He's talking
That's
to the car.
you already were going to do that.
We're not
Oh,
talking
see, he wants to
insurance.
do that. It's like, what?
No,
I'm sorry, I
talking
don't
to
trust you.
the insurance.
And that's my fault.
Hey, oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm the
I'm
one that
sorry. I'm
doesn't need
sorry.
to be
You have
trusted.
to do the difference.
Not you. We've established you.
Are they?
Well, it only took us 2 hours to establish that.
But it's like that changes apparently dramatically based upon the van and everything else, right?
It has all rating items.
So we have no
I even
idea what
skipped
that
one.
insurance is really going to be. We have
Yeah.
no idea how many jobs that's really going to be. So there's
Not
no
yet.
way for me to have this many number of jobs
And
to
it's
be
exactly what I
established
tell
as
people
paying
on
for
the
that
phone.
insurance.
Slow down.
It's exactly what I tell people on the phone. They go, "Hey, I'm moving to Iowa. I live in Arizona. What do you think the insurance is going to be there?" No clue.
So I
Don't
finally
find the
got you to
factor.
understand that it was unreasonable for mom to go, you need to suddenly do all these jobs when you have not found a vehicle, you don't know how much it's going to cost, and you don't even know what the insurance is.
Well, here's what Mom's saying, and this is all Mom's saying. It's better to get a jump on it than not. That way you have
But
the
at least
money
we've
ahead of time.
established that
That's
you
all
will
she's
pay
saying.
the initial amount for that, and I will do the labor cost, which is fair for me, ahead of time, so you'll pay the full amount so I can have insurance immediately.
If you have the money, the difference, You have to have
pay
the
your own.
difference. For
That's the labor cost, monetary.
Yeah.
That's why it's job for total cost now,
I don't know why you
not
keep
job
changing the name
for
of it.
this
I don't
amount of
think-
money
I
ahead
don't-
of time.
I don't care
That's the point I'm trying to make.
how much money you.
That would be
are
determined
getting paid.
based upon what ultimately the van is, where it is, how much it costs, and everything else. So there's no way to know what that would be.
You know what, John Tyler?
And that's right.
It
You might as well
doesn't
start working
matter.
on it.
See, he says that's right.
It doesn't matter how much.
So
Or
it would be
what
job
hourly
for total
job-
cost. You would
what
be
we
able to
need to
keep
know-
the money for that. You'd be able to keep the money. You
He's
can
just
keep the
off.
money.
Let him go.
You're not.
You're fine. We've already established we're
Okay,
fine.
let me
We've already
ask-
understood what this is.
Okay, stop.
We've already established
ask
what
you.
this really is.
John,
It's already, you will have the money. I'll make sure to do the appropriate number of jobs. We'll go buy the van. I'll have the insurance. We'll get it all hashed out. And then I can then do jobs for gas, maintenance, and everything else after that on a case-by-case basis.
So,
So we've established
Pay,
everything that we need to for the van.
Let him go.
are you going to try to pay 6 months of insurance?
So we've
or what?
already done the established van
Let him
thing.
go. That's what he said.
You're going to try to pay 6 months. Okay.
He said that.
Depending, that could change
No.
depending on what we want to do.
No, you want to do because it's in your
What?
name.
What you're willing to pay for. What you're
Oh.
willing to
We're not willing
upfront
to
cost.
pay
That's the
anything for
thing.
your insurance.
What you're willing to pay for the offset, depending on 6 months
He wants us to pay the offset. See, you're not
after
listening.
I do
No,
the labor,
no.
which you just said yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's okay. I'm
You're
saying
Which we've
You're not
already
listening
established,
here.
which
Yeah,
is
I'm
why
still
you're
on
not
ins-
listening.
I'm still on insurance. I didn't
That's
know
the
you.
same thing. The insurance will
It's
be
the
the
same
offset
thing.
with labor.
Oh, offset.
Ahead of it.
We're gonna pay 25% of his insurance.
You're going to pay the insurance you were originally going to
Here's what
pay.
we're going to do, dear. So write this down. So we're going to establish how much. This is real easy. We're going to
I
establish.
can't understand you because you go so fast.
No, I
You're all
don't.
over the place.
No, you just don't want to listen.
Don't stop.
I'm trying to tell you where I'm coming from, and I want to do this right.
We already
So,
yeah.
We're
Okay.
going to establish how much it would cost for the vehicle to be on State Farm in our name.
Right. I have that.
We could establish how much it would be in his name on State Farm, or he calls around to establish what it would cost at other
You
companies.
changed exactly
I got
what
that.
you were
Okay,
saying.
stop.
You,
Let
you
me,
did.
Mom, just
I
yeah.
got that.
And
Yeah,
I
you
don't want
changed
any
it.
other terms. So,
Because she
So-
started screaming at you.
so
Stop.
you already
Yep.
got this. So there's going to be a gap there, right?
Yeah.
He would have to pay that gap, and he would have to have it up front. So if it's $250 on State Farm to add it, but it's $800 to go by himself, there's a $650 or $500, whatever it is. There's a $650 gap. So he has to have that money. But
Well,
we would
those are
pay-
those number of jobs. You're going to keep that money with yourself, so
Yeah.
you can immediately
Yeah.
just pay for it as
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have that money.
Yeah.
You're going to have that money
Okay, yeah, yeah.
in
That-
job
That's
amount.
where you're losing.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
You're going to keep your money. I just did this number of jobs. That now means you'll pay for the insurance.
And then we pay
The
the whole thing.
offset difference.
But see, he's earned the $650 already through the jobs he's done.
That is correct.
That's
Which we've already said
Okay. Okay.
5
I
times
did not understand it. I could not.
because you.
You
No,
were.
you
didn't
kept
wanna
changing
listen.
terms.
You
about
kept changing
offset.
it.
There's no
Whatever.
term change. It's the same thing.
Whatever.
No, I couldn't understand it. I can be honest. I could not understand.
Well,
what you
good.
were
We've
trying to
established now that it's I'm going to do this work after I find the van, after I've confirmed I'm the one buying it, after then you
come up. You're
decide-
not buying it.
So, wait.
right.
Okay,
You
but-
buy it after I
let's go
confirm
this
with
way.
the person
Let's-
that it's mine, which is a whole other thing. But then that means you go figure out what that money would be for your insurance side, and then I go and find the amount of money it's going to be for me insurance
But-
side, and then I do labor, this many number of jobs. We then go buy the dang van.
But
That seems an
So-
enormous amount of work, but okay.
But here's the thing, now what you just said. You're going to have that in place before you buy the van. So you can't just go run out get the van.
I didn't say anything about getting the van. I just literally step by step it for you.
I know. So
I go find a van.
Yep. Stop.
I
right
say
there.
the van with after
Let's say
talking to the person that no, they've got it locked for me. I'm allowed to be the only one to buy the van. Then you guys figure out the insurance while I also figure out the insurance. Then we know about the labor that I need to do for the offset. Then I go do that labor. Then we go to go buy the van.
You're missing something.
There's no missing anything. That's literally what this would be.
The steps you're saying is I go get the van. We determined the
No,
and
not
then-
in any
and
way.
then I just
You didn't
got
even listen. I said I go do labor to make sure I have the money
Yeah, that's
established with you for the insurance,
Go get it.
and then we go get the van.
Then you go look for the
Okay,
van.
I need to
That's
leave.
literally what I just said.
Okay, go down. Go get it.
I want to make the
Okay.
reason why
So
we're-
I want to make sure you got this. Pay attention, both of you.
Go get it.
Tell him to stop moving.
No,
Phaser.
he
Phaser,
needs- he
come
needs
here, come here.
attention.
Pay attention, please.
No.
The
Don't
thing
talk.
that's going to happen now is I will go look for a van. I will establish with that person that's selling that van that this is this amount of money. You then go look for the insurance that you were willing to pay. I go then look for the insurance for me that I will be doing. Then I make sure to do the labor for the offset.
See,
I get that done. No.
You're not.
Let me
You have to
finish.
have the
Let me
offset.
finish.
Offset first. Offset.
Literally, that's what I'm saying. You freaking need to let me finish.
No, because the way you
Because now I do the labor to then offset the fucking thing.
No, you need
You
to
don't-
Then I know what the offset
You
is.
do the offset first, and then you go look for the van.
You need to
get
have
the
money.
offset.
There's no way to
first.
know what the offset is without knowing what the van is, you idiot
You
fucking retard.
No.
See, that's what I'm
You don't
saying.
need to know what
You're-
kind of vehicle. You need to know.
Yes, you do. There's no way to know what the offset would ever be.
Listen, you can pretty
You're a
much.
fucking
Hey,
idiot.
you can. Shut up.
Oh my god, this
Way
is
you-
hilarious.
The way you say
This
it
is
is you're
fucking
getting the van
hilarious.
insurance
You
paid
need to
before you're
know,
doing any work.
regardless, that it's going to cost you at least 500. You need to get at least 500 to start
I
with.
need to know something that it's impossible to know even from your guys' standards.
You're doing it.
The ones in the insurance
But
thing.
here,
It's literally
I'm gonna tell you
impossible.
something.
See, when
You
you
want to go to buy
Oh,
it.
you're gonna stand up and then just yell at me.
Because you're not
Okay.
listening.
Ooh,
You
okay.
need the money
No,
first.
okay, now you want to go
The way
away
you're-
from my eyes.
Not
Go
that-
back into my eye line. Go over there.
The way-
It
Sit
will be-
down.
your
Please
vehicle
calm
will
down.
be sold.
You guys are hilarious.
You can't-
We've already established that's the only way to know what the offset will be.
No.
That's
You're-
literally what that is.
You do not-
You don't even know what the offset would be. You don't know what the van is. You don't know how much it would be. You don't know anything.
We're
So
not
as a
buying-
result, there's no way to know what the
We're
offset
not
is. There's no
buying
way
it
to do
first.
labor ahead of
You
time to
can't
know what the
buy
offset
it
would be.
first. Do
But
the
what I'm
insurance
saying
and then
is,
the
I will
offset.
get
That's
the
not how it
offset
works.
done. I will get the offset done
Okay.
once
No.
we know what the van is, and
No.
once we've already established that
We
this
keep
is what
talking
the.
about- I keep telling
So
you.
now it's become real. Now it's become real that we'll know what the van is. We're definitely doing
Your
the van.
van will be
I will
sold.
be able to do the manual labor
No,
for
you
sure.
won't.
There's no way I'm not doing the manual labor
You
ahead
will.
of time to
You
make
will.
sure that the offset's cost
We're
is
not-
That's
taken
not-
care of
that's
for
not that
manual
you're
labor.
doing it
So
wrong.
now we now have established that no matter what, all of the money will be taken care of ahead of time.
No.
I will be able to do the work. I will be able
No.
to have everything
We're
established,
not
and then we
paying
can
it.
do it.
We're not paying
You're
it
not
ahead of time.
listening to us.
See,
You're
that's
not-
what I'm saying. You're not paying ahead of time. You're not going to go buy the van. There's no buying the van until we know what the van is. We're
Okay.
just establishing that this is a thing that we can then go get.
What you
gotta
don't
stop and
understand is that you don't have that much time. You find a van that you want, you'd have to pay for it then and there and get the insurance. So you need
You
to
don't
have the money
understand
ahead of
That's what
time.
I'm-
That there's no way.
It'll be sold. So it'll be gone. The van will
It
be
will.
gone.
Hey, there, dude.
They're
Can
not
you
gonna
wait like
hold
a
it
week
for you.
before we sell this?
They're not
Yeah,
gonna wait a
I mean,
week.
maybe. I mean,
They're
you know,
not gonna wait a week.
They don't.
They don't.
that's a pessimistic attitude.
You
No
don't-
matter what, they might wait a week.
Okay.
They will not.
They will not.
They
We-
will not.
Here,
They
case
will
in-
not wait a week. Okay, so
Case-
there's no waiting a week, huh?
Case in point, we bought the Alero and the other car together.
I don't
right?
give a shit. What the
Listen.
hell? You went to a fucking dealer.
And that car, our original car, was sold before we even got back that
Do you
night.
know how many times people have gone to somebody's house to go buy a vehicle? They get there and they say, well, this other guy came up He got here first, and he gave me an extra $500, so I took it. And
All right,
you're out of luck.
but at the very least,
Come on,
we've
baby.
already
You're out of
established these jobs were done, and so
You're
this amount of
wrong.
money,
You don't know what
this
you're
amount of
talking
money
about.
would have
That's
been
right.
done.
Do the jobs first, and then you'll have the offset.
The only way that's going to happen is if we have a van. Hey, this, and then we insurance,
Yeah,
and
but-
then this,
JT, wouldn't you
and
rather?
then hey, so this guy sold it. Okay, fine, but then I go find another van, and then it's like, well, these jobs are already done. This is what the offset will be, and then I can now just get those jobs immediately because we can immediately go get that damn van, right?
Do the jobs first. That way you have the offset.
I just said I would. You freaking just literally listen to a second.
But the way you line it up,
There is no lining up. You are
No,
literally
no,
doing
the
the thing
way-
where I want you to do this thing, but it's not going to work the way you want it to be done.
you're saying
You are literally asking for something to be done that is impossible, and you know what you're doing. See the smile?
not
See the
getting
smile?
timeline.
You're smiling because you know that you're
No,
asking
I'm
for something
smiling
that
because
can't be
you're not
done.
listening.
Hey, let him do it, and then he will find out.
Yes, let's do it.
No.
Let him do it.
Let's do it.
Let him. He'll
Let's
find
do it.
out when it's gone, and then we don't have to.
We have a rough approximation of a given type, and then after that, any extra can be done. Can we not figure that out? So we've already established the way I'm going to do it, and that's the correct way to do it. Then we can ultimately get any offset from that, either more or less, depending on the van.
Hopefully, I don't make a mess.
We can get it figured out from there, right?
But see,
So the labor's going to be done before we go buy the thing, no matter what.
okay,
But-
we're done.
So you already knew that that was the correct way to do it. See, you're literally hashing nothing out. It's still the same.
You-
You're
the
you're
way
literally
you
doing
said
the
it-
same fucking problem. You're literally trying to delay it. And I'm literally forcing you to go, no more delays. Fine.
What I'm saying is, you have to do the job before you go find the van.
Which is already established is going to be the
But
case.
the way you do it in your scenario.
That is
they're not.
literally what's going to happen. Shut the fuck up after a while, dude.
No.
Like, come on.
Because the
That
way
is
you
literally
say
what's
it-
going to be going on.
Don't be disrespectful to
The way-
your father.
the way
And you know what?
say
We're
it
going to
is
do it
not that
your way.
Yeah.
We're not putting out any money ahead of time. We're going to do it your way so that you can find out how much it is, and you get the insurance quotes, and then you go work, and then when you go to buy the vehicle and it's gone, don't.
Then
Be
we can
mad.
go to another vehicle that I can find and then use that labor money already established as having something already there with you guys,
But you still
which then we can use
have
for
to
this
have the
new
money
van.
first.
Oh, shocker,
You have
it'll
to have
still
the money
work.
first.
Still have to have the money first.
See, that's the thing.
That's the money because the labor costs already there first. You'll be the one with the money, clearly. So
No.
you're continuing to
But
argue
the
things
way
that
you
you've already
said
said you'd
We're
do.
buying the car, then we're paying for the difference.
We're not buying the car. There's no buying the car. No car is being bought. Thank you.
No.
I do the labor. We'll then go buy the car with the money
That's
that
what
you
I'm
already
saying.
have, and also
But
the
your
insurance.
process
You will
wasn't
buy the
that way.
insurance after
Your
I've
process-
done the manual labor.
Your
Shut up! You've already
process
established this
wasn't
is the
there.
same thing we're doing.
The
Shut up!
process
Like
was
literally
there.
be quiet after a while. You are literally just
The
repeating
process,
yourself.
the way you were
You're saying
is
that
not
you're going
right.
to do the thing I'm saying you're going to do. And I agreed that I'm going to do this thing. So we've already agreed what we're doing.
The process wasn't the way you said it. That
What the
wasn't
fuck is
process.
this?
The way you processed it was not that way.
Potgalling to the shade. No, no pot here. Clearly.
The process you said.
It's a bunch of idiots that are like, I'm going to argue you wouldn't have done the labor. No, the labor's going to be done. No, I will have to buy the van. No, you're not buying the van. We're basically putting feelers out.
Process that way.
And it's like, hold it for me. I'll have it ready this amount of time. And it's like, well, maybe I can, maybe I don't. All right, fine. But at the very least, this next one will be the same kind of thing. But then we'll be able to get the fucking insurance done ahead of time,
Process that way.
faster, because I would have already established this amount of money with you.
Okay. I think we figured it
So essentially, the same thing. So that's why you all decided to go, I'm going to go over here, I'm going to do this. Which means essentially, we're done. We've established what we're going to do moving forward. You had to scream and yell and shout the entire time. You had to still go like, no, maybe it's this or maybe it's that. And it's like, no. You're doing that problem now. We've already established this is exactly what we're going to do.
You got it figured out, right?
Yes, we do. We do have it figured out. The labor is going to be done. Things are going to be there ahead of time. We'll know what we're going to need to fucking pay for. And if it's not that specific one, we'll be able to do it faster for the second or third one. However many times, we'll get it done. Jeez.
But what do you want, dear?
Then he will probably will.
That's why I started laughing. It's like, you guys are actually just being stupid insane. You are literally stupid insane now. Like, you're just saying the same, like, we've agreed that we're doing, and like, you're yelling, like, no, this isn't a thing. No, I said that we're doing this. Why are you fucking saying that this is not happening? No, because it became real. You're going to actually do it now.
Let's not beat a dead horse.
That's literally what it is, though.
Well,
like, you started getting upset that, oh, no, we're actually going to buy a van for you.
I think that what we came out of this with is we're going to do jobs.
No, I've already written it down. No.
Jobs at a specific.
No.
Okay.
I'm out.
Okay.
I'm good. I already know what we're doing.
Okay.
I'm going to go look for a van. If that person says they can hold it for, let's say it's a week, I can get some jobs done. I can go search. You can go search for insurance. In that meantime, then this date, if they still will sell it to us, I'll have these jobs already as money. Do you hear me what I'm saying right now? Like, I have to write this down, and you're gonna have to agree to it. Okay?
Yeah, but here's the thing.
No,
Yep.
Shush! I'm literally writing this
Talk
down.
to your mom.
So, find van. Figure out insurance. Figure
You can
out
stand up to yourself and tell them not to
insurance.
talk to you that way. You don't call your
Insurance
dad a fucking
is
retard.
done. All right,
You
so
know,
you're at
he's
insurance.
working
All
at-
right,
Here's the
so
thing, but are you listening?
then this
I'll talk to him
time
when he's-
established for jobs
It's jobs are
for
he
offset
gets paid a
for
dollar
the
amount per
offset
job.
of the insurance. All right, this time for the jobs for the offset of the
But
insurance.
what he just said.
Then check
buys the
if
van. You can hold it.
van is
So I'm
still
gonna
for
do
sale.
Jobs to do the offset.
For sale.
Listen. So
Now,
what if
after
the
that,
offset is $800?
van for
How is
sale,
he going to make $800?
van
That's what I'm
for
That's-
sale.
That's where the thinking is off.
I know.
The thinking is not off.
Yeah, see.
It's totally logical. Van for sale, still buy van.
So
What is off, John Todd?
No.
Listen. if
This
the
time for
offset is-
jobs for offset.
Yeah.
This time for jobs for offset.
Okay.
The jobs will have been done. You can pay for the insurance ahead of time. I just wrote it down.
Yeah, but if the offset is $800,
And I can get those jobs done.
how are you going to get $800 in jobs done in a
you
week?
can't do that, honey. You can't do that.
It's $800 in jobs.
You know what? Honey? Your body can't handle
It's
it.
$800 in
You
jobs.
can't handle that.
So, you agree that you would be willing to pay me more for the disability
Not
I
that
have
much.
and
That-
the
that's
individual
much.
jobs
That's what it
that you
comes
would
down
feel
to, yeah.
comfortable with for the established thing to be done.
No.
That's what you said.
You want to get
Job for total cost. We established that. Instead of an hourly, it's a job for total
paid.
cost.
That's right. That's what I'm writing down. A dollar amount, not hourly per job. Right?
Job for total cost.
Yeah. It's the same
Job for total cost. What
Same
does that
thing.
mean? I feel comfortable of this amount of labor equaling this value of
thing.
whatever
You're not
it
going
is.
to tell me how much I'm going to
That's
pay
what
you
that
for doing
is.
a job. No.
That's what that would be.
No.
This thing, whatever it is, he did this or this many things,
Okay.
and that now means I'm willing to pay for it.
I need to ask you, if I say, John Tyler, I want you to paint that wall,
We're
I
not
keep
giving you
bringing it up.
$800 because you
that
need $800
wall
for
out
that
there,
week. Hi, Faith.
what would you charge me to paint that wall?
Job for total cost.
I want you to tell
this
me.
thing,
Tell me
this
what you
thing
pay- what would
is
you
this
pay me?
amount of money.
What should
How many? How many?
You're not
how
listening.
many do you equal for that thing?
Don't talk to me that way.
That's what this is.
No, I'm asking you that wall out there needs to be painted.
Large, small,
How
doesn't
do you
matter.
want me
How
to-
many job you want for this thing to
How
be
much
established as equaling now this
Now
thing
we
you
come
will to
down
pay
to the
for?
nitty-gritty.
Now I need to know.
Because I need to talk like this.
I'm gonna pay you $100. I'm gonna pay you $100, but you have to do the entire
Oh,
wall.
$100, but that's not going to be worth the same amount, okay?
Yeah,
you
think it's gonna
understand
be
that.
Now
That's
you're
the
talking
thing.
like an ass.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
You
It's not
understand
going
this disability means this job is worth more for me to be able to do for you
Okay,
than it would be
You're
for
not
another
telling
person.
me how much money you want.
It wouldn't matter because you
It does
wouldn't
matter.
have you would
We
have
have to have
feelings that change your
a
mind
dollar
as to
amount.
what that's worth.
We have to
It doesn't
write down
matter.
a dollar amount.
It doesn't matter what the dollar amount
Yes,
is.
it does. Oh,
Yes,
it
it
fucking
does.
sure does.
It
I'm
doesn't.
Not paying it.
That's the point. You think this is worth this much. It doesn't matter if my disability comes
I'm
into play.
asking you.
It doesn't.
Why won't you tell
Here's
me
the
a
thing.
dollar amount?
Because you will change it on that given day.
No, I will
No.
not.
Yes, you
If
will.
it's
You've
written-
done it many times
If
before.
it's written down,
There's no written down because that would change. Oh, like it has this amount of
That
more.
doesn't change.
Yeah, exactly.
how are we gonna pay you then?
See, this is the
Per
thing.
job, what you feel comfortable having this amount of fucking work done for this amount of money
and
established
then
for
what if
whatever
you-
it is.
And
Okay,
then you don't
so
agree.
what if you don't agree?
Right.
And then
That's what I'm saying. That's
why
literally
we
what I'm
we
saying.
need
It's
to
like,
agree.
look, I don't care
We need
what
to-
you think. This disability means this is an issue. If you don't agree that this is this hard for me, then it doesn't change that it's like that's the thing that you have to pay because this is how hard
And
it
he
is for
won't
me.
give us. We're gonna have to give him a dollar amount, and then we're gonna have to haggle. Is what's gonna happen.
and
right?
here's what's going to happen.
We have to haggle.
And
like I
We're gonna
said-
make a dollar amount.
Here's what's
Like
going to
I
happen.
said,
If the offset is $800 that week, it's going to be $800. That's worth $800. That's what's going to happen.
That won't
That's what
happen.
I'm talking about. That's what I'm going to talk about.
Did we tell you what happened when we loaded the truck? This guy in Home Depot said, "Oh, we'll come over and help you." And your dad worked it with. He said $50,
$100.
$100. The
mhm.
guy got there and looked at our stuff. And he's
Oh.
helping us. I can't do $100, and he wanted to bring his friend, but we said we didn't want to pay for his friend. That man basically did try to tell us he cannot do all that work by himself with us helping. And that we weren't paying him enough, which I knew. I knew we weren't paying him enough. And we gave him more money. And then the next time, he brought his friend the next day, and I paid them both. Before they even got in the front door, I stopped them and said, "We need to establish what you want us to pay you, because we're not going to go do that like we did yesterday." Okay? So
Okay.
that's why I'm telling you, I'm not going to do that. See, and he
What
brought his friend this time
extra?
because he knew he couldn't.
Okay,
He couldn't
this
pick
is
all
what
that
the
stuff
the
up by
premise
himself.
and the argument that is that you're making.
We
Both
have
of
experience.
you. No. Shh. Please. Your premise and argument here is I need you to establish how much extra your disability will mean for me to have to pay you to do this.
Yes.
Pretty much. Well said.
Right. How the fuck do I do that?
Okay.
We don't
that's,
Here's
That's-
another thing.
Because you're going to debate me heavily as to what that will be. Because you feel as though it's not that much.
So that's why I wanted to ask Berakaya, not
Here,
basing
let
what
me
you.
go this way.
Okay.
So let me go this way.
Like,
you're-
It is 3 times more. It is 6 times more disabled. It is this much more
No.
hard. Do you see
It's
what I'm
only
saying?
like
Hold on.
Do you
25.
see
Hold
now what I'm
on.
saying?
Hold on. So, in your life, in your angle. So, is it fair enough to overpay somebody?
That's
even-
not
even-
overpaying when you have a disability.
Listen,
It is.
whether it's you or somebody else. Now, let's say, since you are family, let's say
It's
somebody,
family, no,
listen,
no, no,
Your
listen.
family is that factors in.
so listen, would I pay somebody, okay, somebody says it's $600 to do this wall.
Do
And
this building.
so-and-so painters comes in, licensed, bonded, has their own insurance, I can do that for $150. So is it fair? See, that's where we're being, like you said,
Okay, I'll
Oh,
just
no,
interject here real fast.
At a
Let me
certain point,
let me
yeah,
just
we can hire
interject,
somebody.
please.
no
Let me
rejection
interject real
Better-
fast.
that
All
does it
right. Hey. So, this is sort of relevant, but not that relevant. This licensed painter, their job, they're not disabled. It's easier for them. And oh, by the way, they're basically a monopoly if they even exist in this 2-town area that's rural.
Oh yeah, they're all over. We have
Right?
lots
Okay,
of
so
people.
But it's like,
stop,
right.
Just say that. Stop.
Interjecting here, okay.
Finally.
That
Finally
then
figured it
means you've established whatever that is for a normal person that could work that job and actually do it and be consistent and all the rest of it that you're hoping, unfairly by the way, for me to do because you want me to do this work for this to be fair for you, right? But like I just said, we will not, is what you were going with, but me, I go, because you'll change it because you don't think that my disability is as severe as it is.
No.
So then it turns into what is it that times amount of whatever it is that you will have to pay. You have to pay this extra because it's more difficult for me to do it. And if it's this many hours, that then means that much more too for me to do because it gets harder for me the longer it goes on. Right? And you want the job done your specific way, correct?
Not sloppy.
All right.
Whatever.
But that's what that is,
That's all I'm
right?
saying.
Which then means your feelings of how severe my issues are what comes into play as to my disability being those issues and their severity and my ability to do whatever it is that you need me to do for that labor to be willing to pay for whatever it is.
You're going on and on and on.
No, I didn't go on and on. I literally broke it down for you.
When it comes down to what we're trying to establish is we need to know how much it will cost to do a job. And at that point,
Right?
we will
So
negotiate.
what is it that you feel multiplicative over time, compound interest over a given time because
No.
it gets more difficult for me
No.
to do this because that's fair.
You
I
want-
literally just established what we're doing. So it's like this
I'm
is
trying
this
to give
immensely.
you an example.
Let's say it's 12 times more difficult for me for a normal
No.
than a normal person.
No.
And then we have
No.
a times a
Wait,
delta of a given type of
No.
overtime
We're done.
hourly.
We're done.
So it's
We're
like
done.
every 1 hour
You know
we have
that's
to add in a point 0.7 increase to that.
No.
What you two are arguing is who controls the cost of what? Who controls?
There is no
the-
control. That's what I'm trying to
Yes, it
tell
is.
you. My disability makes it more difficult for me to do this thing, and then on top of it, makes it more difficult for me over time to continue doing it.
You don't need to, what we need, what I am trying
Which
to
is
say,
literally what you just
when
said
you
would be
are-
the case.
when you are able to do a job,
This is when.
Which
Okay.
is another part of
This is
that.
At
when
that
you need an
point,
arbitrator.
when you're able to do that job, at that point, when you are there, and you look at what it is you have to do, and we say, okay, we're gonna pay $100, and you're gonna go, okay, all right, but it's gonna hurt my back. I'm gonna need to do this. I'm gonna need to take breaks.
And now you know about insurance rates.
And then you want us to pay you $150.
No. Now you know why it is that certain people
No, you
pay
didn't. That's
more
exactly
for
what we're-
workers' compensation and
I don't
other
fucking
things
care
like
about
this.
that. I'm talking
You
about-
should, because this is literally what it
There's
is.
no workers' comp in
You
here.
have to.
This is literally what we're talking about
you
and establishing.
have to agree
This
on.
is this percentage. I'm literally agreeing. What multiplicative for me? Like this for you is this amount of money. But that's not what it would be for me. That's what you're arguing. It doesn't matter. That's how much more difficult it is. And then over this
Are you
amount
gonna
of time.
play this game when we go?
There is no
when you-
this game.
when
There
you-
is no. That's the point, though.
I
There's
wanna
no
know,
game
I
here.
have to budget too.
That's what I'm. Okay, this is why I broke it down to job for total cost instead of, oh, it's this amount of money extra because
but
of
you
how
need
hard
to
it is for
know
me.
when you are starting the
Okay,
job.
you want job for total cost? This amount of extra plus this delta V times this amount. That's what that will be.
Well, it's not times 12.
That, see, unfair.
That's
We don't know. You go, it's not that severe. No, I would never do that. You just did that.
Go get your dog one.
I just don't. There's.
You literally just did that.
Okay, listen, I'm asking you. And just stop.
No. You want to
Claire,
establish. You want to
Claire.
establish. This is what it is.
Clear your mind for just a second, okay?
There's no clarity needed.
No.
You're the one going chaotic
This is-
circle.
This-
No, I'm not.
What it is.
See,
This is what it is.
I'm trying to ask you.
you don't want to give up control.
I'm not doing anything about the control.
I'm
You
trying
wanted to
control.
establish something.
You are totally.
This is
controlling.
times amount, and then this is
You are
times the
totally
delta
trying to
amount of
control.
time.
I'm
You
Per
are
not.
totally
second,
trying
is
to
it? Was
control.
it per second?
I
Is it per
need to
minute?
know.
Are we going to do hourly? Over every hour, every minute? What is it?
You are
Then same
totally
thing for
trying to
what
control it.
extra increase of difficulty is it for me
You are totally
immediately?
trying to control it.
Which is dynamic based upon any given day and any given issues I am incurring.
I can't work that way. I
But
can't
that's
do it
literally
that
what
way.
you're wanting to establish. This is why I was trying to avoid it.
You
This
can't
is
avoid
the
it.
automatic increase, no matter what. This is already going to be there. So it's like you need to understand what that increase is going
Okay,
to
so
be.
you have
So
this.
you now need to negotiate what that number is really going to be.
Listen. You have all this stuff here, right? It's 100. I'm going to pay you $100 for the job, and you do the formula and tell me.
All right, you want to
Okay?
do 100?
I need to know what that's going to be.
Right, so it's 100
Fuck, man,
times
how
12.
much is that?
What is 100
I'll pay
times
you
12?
$100,
No.
and you do your formula, and what is it?
That'd be
man.
1,200.
This is what you got.
But is this for like, how long is that job?
You're gonna,
It doesn't matter.
Oh,
The
okay, then
job's
it'd be
4 hours.
so that like
The
this is
job's 4 hours.
I always had 1,200.
okay. So then
12
we'll do.
times 100 is 1,200.
Oh no, all these little factors and deltas and dots and sevens and whatever.
You guys are both trying to control.
I'm not.
There's
trying to-
none. No, so it's 4 hours.
I don't
4
want
hour
to.
delta. All right, so we're
I
gonna
need
now.
to know.
No, you want to know. That's fine.
I want to know.
Zero,
I mean, come on,
zero,
that gives me some kind of
14,
expectation of what kind of.
7, and then
If I pick
it's
something that-
point. So 740
Raking
times
leaves.
4,
Mhm.
40 times
$1,200.
4,
Like the fuck.
which is 0,
No.
16,
That's a
7.
degree of
This is
difficulty
going to
that
shock you, shockingly, right?
Phaser boy.
28. So 6, and then that's 20. So that's 1. Sometimes
Let's change,
4
change
is
in your pocket,
28,
JT.
right?
Here in the drawer.
24 for 6.
What you got,
JJ?
JJ?
Yeah, it should be
Give
28.
me your
That's
rope.
not, so that's 29.
What you got?
Which
the
then I
age
have to
bit
add
is dinner.
into.
There's
It's
lunch.
a 0.7. So 1,200,
It's your
which
nose.
is 0.7 times 4.
He
and you have
goes,
to
"I'm
add
a
that
boopy
in,
dog.
so
I'm
then
so
this would be
cute.
2, 9,
I'm so
6,
cute.
0, 0,
Burr,
6,
burr, burr.
1,
I
1,
got a boopy nose.
4. So which would be the equivalent of $4,160.
Well, you're high as a kite. That'll never happen.
See?
You are wrong. That's never going to happen.
That's the
You know,
multiplicative. That's
you
the
expect
delta.
me to pay you
That's the times
$4,000
0.4.
to do $100 job?
Which actually I did that incorrectly because it's
Oh, yeah, you
it's
did.
4 hours, but it's actually I have to add that
See, there's no
to
incentive.
the first
No,
one.
no, there's no incentive.
So
We're not
it's
going to get you a car if that's the way it's going to work. We can't do that.
740, right? And then I have to then add that
That's
in,
what I
and
was
then I have to
talking
multiply
about.
it
Yeah,
by the 0.7. That's how compounding works. Instead
No,
of
it's not working. It's not going to happen.
that's the thing. Negotiate what it is that would be, right? For the amount of difficulty extra that I have for this thing. How do you establish that?
You're not $4,000.
Not
That's what I'm trying to
$4,000. You know,
say.
you
Well,
know.
it'd be more than
You
that, but I'm going to
know,
move on.
John Tyler, you know better than that.
You asked me to do the work and got upset, and I told you this would shock you.
Yeah, because you're wrong.
And I
There-
no,
that's-
it's not wrong.
Go
If
get
you
the-
want to use this one specific formula,
That's your formula.
you're supposed to talk to me as to what it is that you assume would be
You
more.
quit fighting me. You start that.
So if we,
Go get your rope. Go get your rope.
let's just say,
Phaser. Phaser. Go get your rope.
let's say,
Because it's this is why
No,
it's
we're
a job
gonna go-
for total
let's go
cost.
Go get your rope.
let's go outside and we'll go take a look. Actually, look out,
There's no need to
look
look.
out the window right here. Look out the window.
I'm gonna go pee.
At these leaves. I want you to rake these leaves and put them into a bag.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'll pay you $100 to do that.
Right. And what day is it? Am I feeling this or am I feeling that?
When
and
can
is
you
it
do it?
difficult for me like this or is it difficult for me
This is
like
not
that?
something that has to be done today.
Do you feel
tomorrow.
comfortable allowing for me to have this increase at all over what you assume would be what the right cost is? What is going to be the right cost for you? Is
Well,
it only this? No matter what. Is it
If
only
you-
this?
Hey, if you can only do half the job.
No.
And listen,
What is it that you are comfortable with establishing as a pay for the whole dog? It doesn't matter really.
$100.
$100. Yeah, but it's not. Though that's the thing.
Well, because you won't
Because,
finish
no,
it.
but see, that's the thing. Like you've
You
already
can't-
established what you're comfortable. You're only ever going to pay $100. No matter
Because-
what the difficulty is for me, You will never pay more than that. That's what you're saying.
Because if you get a bag, if you get one bag out of it, I would be surprised.
Now
And
you're
still
now
getting $100.
suddenly aware why it is job for total cost makes sense versus job for,
Okay.
hey, well, if I establish that I have this disability and it's definitely going to be this much more difficult for me, and then over time it gets this much more
If
difficult,
you were
which is a
actually
compound
able-
interest hourly.
Stop.
If you only were able to get a one
It
bag,
wouldn't matter,
it
though.
would. If you were actually able to finish the entire thing,
No, it wouldn't matter. You say it's this amount. Now, this amount is established. This amount of hourly is then going to be established. See what I mean with this, like, job for total cost
What would you-
versus this given idea of an hourly,
I don't think
which is what you're trying to establish. So, a job for total cost, you're trying to establish a job for hourly.
Okay, what I said was all of these leaves out there for $100. If he can only do a bag, he's still getting $100. But if he were actually able to finish the whole thing,
No. You're establishing an
Then you would
hourly.
get paid
It
more.
doesn't matter. See, job for total cost is job for total cost.
I'm willing to start at $100, whatever you can do out there. And then if you
But
can
that's the
actually
thing.
do
You're
the
now
rest of
making it such that the difficulty level for me is not being established, which is now unfair.
I don't care what the difficulty level is. If you can
There
do
you
a
go,
bag,
which I said you would
and you
do.
can do a bag, that's what you get paid. If you can't do a bag, then
It's Amber.
you're still getting you go out there and pick
Which
up
now
two
has
leaves.
gotten down, which is what I established, job for total cost.
I'm trying.
That's what you were comfortable with. That's what I said you'd be comfortable with. That's what I said that you would inevitably end up doing, and it'd be nothing in any way involving my difficulty level of doing whatever it is.
And you have
So
to
if me
finish
not
the whole
completing the whole total job still ultimately gives me that much money, but then it was before you were saying that it was unfair for me to not do the entire job, but still ultimately have that thing that I need taken care of.
Honey, I don't get.
So now you're
I
saying
don't
that it would
understand.
be acceptable to
I
have
think we
that
should
whole
walk
thing.
the dogs and take a break.
No, I don't. I don't.
Because we're just getting lost. We're getting stuck in the mire.
Yes.
No. You
And-
just established that you'd be willing to say, I'd be surprised if he got even a bag or
The biggest
something.
problem that you're having,
Like I
Yes.
said, you
your
won't get
biggest
control, he
problem
won't
that
give
you're
up control.
having
Yep.
is that we have not figured out how to factor in that day
No, my
how
disability.
you are feeling, disability wise.
It's not feeling
And
disability.
I
No,
like-
that's
I like to-
ableism talk.
I like to
The
plan
disability
ahead.
still is there. It's just slightly easier
You're not
that
letting
day.
me finish.
That's the thing, right? And it can get worse that day. So it's like, no, that's ableism talk. So it turns into, like, no matter what, if you were willing to pay for this amount of money, no matter what, if that was done, we've already established that's the job for the total cost of whatever it would be ultimately that you're comfortable with paying, right? Which then turns it into this many jobs to ultimately get
No,
this
I'm
thing.
not. Let's talk one job at a time.
There is no one job at a time,
There's
though.
one
That's
job
the
at a
point.
time. There is
Because
one,
it's like you don't want to factor in my
It
disability.
It is one job at a time because each job is going to depend on
And you
how you're
finish it.
feeling and your
It's not
disability.
feeling, it's my level of disability.
Your level of disability.
And how
Each
can you
job
finish?
is going to depend on your level
You're
of
screaming.
disability. Each
You
job,
don't have to scream.
okay, it depends on your level of disability. So yes, we have to take it job by job. And then,
But you're
Yeah,
only
and
willing.
you only get paid
No, because you've
when
already
the job is
established,
done,
like I just
all the
said,
way.
you're only willing to pay this amount of money no matter what it is. No matter what it is that my disability has for difficulty,
No.
it wouldn't matter.
no,
You don't
because you
change the
said
amount of
that's
money.
not what you want. You said that's not what you want.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it
but
doesn't
you
matter.
You can't,
That's the point.
You can't agree into that. You start saying, "Oh well, I would do this for $200." Oh, now this week my back hurts. I want $800 to finish it. Oh, see, this is what's leaving you open. We're exposed now.
No,
So then
I'm
you say,
exposed. That's
no,
the thing. It's
you're not.
unfair for me.
You're not.
That is
exposed.
literally what
You're
that
not
is.
exposed.
Oh, I'm going to
not
take on
exposed.
something that's going to cause
Because
me to be
you're
more
bringing-
disabled. That's the point.
No.
I will be now more disabled. I will have more
Okay.
issues. And
I
then
think-
this thing that I'm going to have to do for this given day that is this much more difficult, which you would not be able to afford, which then turns it into I will be able to get it done later, maybe, which you don't want, right?
leaves us exposed because then you can change the rate to higher.
Well, you're not going to get paid until you're done with the job anyway. So
there
if
you go.
want to sit
Which
there
is
and
like,
take 6
okay, but
months
this
to finish
amount,
something-
no, this amount of disability is now going to be factored in. That's the point.
That's
But you are only
But
ever
okay.
going
we're
to be.
not.
That's
we
the
are
thing.
not going to go with this shit. That's
You're
not
only
happening.
ever
Wait.
comfortable with paying for this amount of money for this job.
because
It wouldn't matter what my disability is. You're making it unfair on me.
You know what? You're gonna have
But
to,
you don't care about that unfairness. You are believing that it is now leaving you open for problems. But that's not what that
you can
is.
constantly raise your rate.
your rate. You're going to take. You can do
Because
it
it's
say-
dynamic. That's what I
That's
And you can
established.
pull the disability card.
That's
every
not
time.
pulling disability.
Oh,
I have a
bullshit, it
disability,
isn't.
but it
It
gets
is.
worse and sometimes it's
That
better.
is pulling the disability card, and you're
Because
not going
now
to do
you can
it.
say, I'm.
No,
this
it
job-
seems
this-
unfair. It's not.
You know
That's
what?
what dynamic things are.
I need to say this right now.
We're not
And
gonna
if
do
you
it
do
that
not
way.
agree with me,
We're not doing
that's
it that way.
fine. And if you do not agree with me, that's fine. But I'm going to tell you right now, you want this car and you want for us to pay your gas and you want us to help you get your insurance and all this
Right.
stuff, then we want you to do a job and we're going to pay you this amount. And if you don't like it, then you don't need gas for your car. I'm not factoring in any of the bullshit. It's not
Job for
happening.
total cost. Job for
No.
total cost.
No, I'm not doing it.
See, how many jobs
I'm
for the
not doing
total
it.
cost?
I'm not
Says you're
doing it.
not doing it.
We have a set amount, and that's what you get paid, and that's it. We're
That's
not playing
what I
this
just
game.
said you'd scream
We're
and yell
not playing
about.
this game. It's not
That's
happening.
what it is.
I'm out of here.
Literally, that's what you said that
I'm
you'd
done.
be willing to do.
I'm done.
This amount of money
I'm
for
done.
this job,
Let's go
no
on
matter
back.
what. That's what you said you'd do.
No, you're
And I
leaving-
said that would be unfair, and I said I'd still do it.
You're leaving yourself wide open.
Yeah, no, I know that, but at the same time, she doesn't want to establish that amount of money difference for me having this issue,
You can't.
which I said she would be unfair about.
On Facebook.
And now she runs away when she suddenly realizes, no, I'm not going
No,
to do
we're
that.
not going to leave ourselves open where you can change the rate. Sure.
Like, for what it's worth, I know what this really is. You didn't want in any way to actually have to pay for a van. You didn't want any of it, and you wanted to blow it up. That's what that would really be. Which effectively meant you were going to haggle over the total cost of any given job. And I was willing to do the whole job and get that only that amount of money. But if you wanted to make it fair, you were unwilling to make it fair. And that's okay.
I was.
I already knew that.
I was willing to until you started factoring all this bullshit.
That's not factoring bullshit. That's like a normal thing. Yeah. But it's like you didn't want to pay for the vehicle. You didn't want to do the vehicle. You didn't want in any way for it to get that far, and so you did this. That's how narcissists play this often. When it gets that far, you suddenly see it's like, no, we'd have to pay and we'd have to do this and it'd be in his name, and all of a sudden he'd be able to be an independent person from us. I'm terrified. And it's like, this is what I'm doing. It's like, no, you didn't really want. And I mean, if they're going to be insane, of course I'm going to do an accent. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to be that idiotic about it. It's like, no, we already established what this really was. It's like, no, it's a job for a total cost. No, I can definitely find a van. I can definitely search around. I can definitely do this. What's the problem? Like, this is normal fucking shit. Why are you suddenly screaming, yelling? Why are you suddenly having these issues? Like, this wouldn't be that bad. No, you want to be no. Oh shit. Oh fuck. It's like, no, it'll be in my name. What would be the problem? I don't understand. I don't. Oh, no, okay. Well, let's see how much that they strung it along for 2 hours, when in reality it's like, we never wanted to do the fucking thing. We never wanted to actually do it at all. We certainly didn't want to make it such that you would be the one that's the one in control and power in terms of when you get the job done, because it's in your name, you can have the insurance, we can get this, we can do all that. But it's like, no, I don't know what the amount of money is. But it's like, no, how much would this be? $100 for this. Seems like pretty, okay. So then it'd be like, how many? And it's like, but no, that's fine. All right. But no, you might not do it. But if I did it, right? It's like, who would care? It'd still be over at my place, and The insurance is already paid for. The gas is still what it is. So what would be the problem? You didn't notice that, most likely, but like this is a bullshit argument. I already knew that. That's why I started laughing. Called him a fucking retard. Because it is. It's a fucking retarded thing. It's literally retarded. They're like held back, hindered. Me. Fucking retarded. It's like, I'm not angry. I'm not any of this. I know I have to act that way with them. Otherwise, they won't do anything but continuously build up, get more upset until they'll try, get out of here, no, and all this. That's how they work. But it's like, all right, so this amount of job. And it's like, well, it's going to be unfair for me, but it's like, I'll be able to still ultimately establish that amount of money. It's like, no, I will not establish that. I'm not talking about it. It's like, you didn't want to do it. You wanted to blow it up. You never wanted it to actually go through. And he's like, no, I'm going to have to deal with my abusers and oppressors and all this other shit for this much more time. It's like, no, why would I do that? Right? Is what you'd probably think. And it's like, yeah, no. No, I would totally do it. But that would mean they'd have to honor that. That's the problem. They'd have to take responsibility. They'd have to honor that. Like, so I did get the job done. No. But if you did it sloppily. So, but every time it would be that way, huh? Oh, I don't want to pay you that money. Or I don't have this job for you. Or I don't have. All of a sudden, they'd have to actually consistently be willing to pay. And establish whatever it is then means they'd have to continuously put the money in and allow for me to be independent of them. Show that, of course, I do this job, and yes, we have to validate your disability and your issues, and when you have schedules and your own life and everything else, and you be independent of us. The narcissist would suddenly no longer have control. The gabagoo would no longer be allowed to do gabagoo things. Simple stuff. Super easily understood things. I knew ahead of time, before this conversation was going to happen, that this is what it would really ultimately end up becoming. But I still went for it, because, truthfully speaking, people online need to know. They don't really understand how a narcissist really works. They use the term loosely. There's a reason why I go, I can use that term because I've lived with them and I've established what my abusers do to me. How they work, but it really is that they're really after. It's not hard to see at all. They never wanted it. Like, no, it's only $100. I was like, okay, it's only $100. No, but I don't want that to be. No. We have to something. It's only $100. What's the problem? It's only $100. I already said that multiple times. It's only going to be $100 then. Okay. But it's like, you wanted to make it fair. But it's like, we're not going to do that shit. But that would be fair. That's how much more difficult, and how much more difficult over time, and that'd be a compounding interest. Yeah, but I don't want to do that. Okay, so then it's job for total cost. No, it's... And see how they immediately, no, we're getting closer and closer to this thing that would ultimately mean we would do it. Bingo. Literally that fast. You should have seen it the moment that happened. The moment they was like, no, we've already established. I'll just go find something. We'll figure it out. We'll go along. It's okay. We don't have to stress. We don't have to be anxious. We don't have to do any of that. It's okay. I can get it done. It's okay. Look, man, what the hell? Holy fuck is really what I'm kind of trying to get across. But then I'm starting to laugh because it's like, I already know what this is. I already know. The moment the very first I laughed moment, it's like, oh, I already know what the fuck this is. You don't want to do it. You're going to fucking literally putz around and then try and do whatever you can to literally make sure you don't have to follow through and actually do it. And it's like, all right, let's see if I can go flag them down and talk to them. Let's see what happens. All right, you're gonna walk around and see if I can find them. Hey, no, I know what I'm doing. It's a whole thing with me. Because it's like, you should leave them alone, let them cool off and all this, and then maybe, it's like, it's not really quite really what that would be, if I'm being honest. Oh yeah, no, they know me though. Yeah, I do. Dude, I used to do this when I was a kid, all the time. It's like, no, I already know what this really is. I'm gonna give them a second, see if I can find them. Yeah, they went to go talk to friends, it looks like, so they know me. They know I'll go find them and try and talk to them. I wouldn't doubt it in the slightest. Because they're not on the back, they both went out back. And now they're there. Right? Because you know what I'm going to do. It's like, all right, so it's still a job for a total cost, right? Right? Like, are we still on board with trying to do the van thing? You know what I mean? Like, is it so bad? Yep. Look at that. Not out back. Definitely heading over to friends. Or hanging out somewhere in one of the rooms, which I heard both of them leave. Which effectively means they went to go walk my dog. So I don't see a leash around here. I don't see him next by any of the friends' houses. So I have to wait for them. They're gonna go talk. But it's like, realistically, does anybody see anything different? That's all it is. Like, you can lie and be like, no! It's like, we already know what you're doing. No, we already know what you're doing. It's like, I just said the same thing to you. You know that, right? Like, no, wait, I agreed with that. No, but actually, you would have to do this thing. I agreed that I'd do that thing. No, you have to do this thing. I agreed that I'd do this thing. It's a comical fucking, like, does anybody else notice that? Like, if you listen to the argument, no, I'm gonna do that. No, but. We now have to establish, it's like, okay, so we'll establish this. Well, you wanted it to be like, okay, but it's going to be like this, right? So, but how much would it be? And it's like, well, you said that you're comfortable paying this, so that's what that would be, right? No, but it has to be something, no, but you said that this was what this amount would be. Yeah, well, no, because it's now this. Oh, you said that you wouldn't do this thing. No, I said I'd do that thing. No, you said you would not do this thing. No, I'm literally saying I'm going to do that thing. No, you're not going to do that thing. And it's like, look at the pot arguing with the kettle over there over which thing. And I'm like, I'm just the water in this. Just over here doing water things, you know, trying to like fit into the fucking vessel I'm supposed to go into. Boil. It's fucking stupid ass shit. They're real though. They are. Like, they are stupid. You need to respect. You should not say that to you. Yeah, no, the moment you can actually, like, be respectful in some aspect. Like, man, you don't in any way understand how actually stupid you look. Do you? Like, for real, though. Like, there's a reason why I just started fucking laughing my ass off. It's so, it was like, this is exactly what this is. There's nothing more than a bunch of people being douche fucking dumbasses, which are just two, right? But like, this is the same thing I did when I was a kid and had to live with, especially with my older and younger sister. But you were always arguing, and you were and you heard me, and blah blah blah. They never cared. They never cared. Never cared once. Narcissists. They're functional. Oh, no. He heard I have to continue this lie for as long as possible because I called him out. You don't care. And they do the same thing to me. You don't care, do you? I'm like, I'm the one saying I'll do that thing. I'm the one saying that's I'm willing to accept your price on this. I will argue for this person. Oh, hi, retard. How you been? How's it going, hindered? Been held back lately? Where are you going? No, but there's, and you have to do this before for money. How much would it be? 100 baht. I'm willing to pay. Okay, 100 baht. Okay. No, you have to tell me what you're willing, and we will argue. Why? It's a job for total cost. This is what you're willing to pay. I said that would be what it was. You obviously knew that. I'm going to lie and say I didn't. And I will now argue, and then, no, we didn't. And that's not it. It's like, what? But that's literally what you said you're willing to pay. I'm willing to go along with it. What's the problem? No, you're being obstinate. You're being the oppositional. You're so oppositional. You don't know what you were like. You don't know what you were like. You were so bad as a. Look at the clowns over there. They believed narcissist parents. It's a wonder I don't have Munchausen somehow. Oh, I don't though. Shockingly. Well, I guess we'll wait for a while. That's all I've got. Alright, so I decided to talk to myself and whoever else was connected briefly there for a while. Who agreed with me. Like, this is actually insane. It's literally like, yeah, no, like, okay, I'll just go with whatever you want for the money amount. It's like, no, we have to do this thing that's literally impossible that I will never agree to. Like this total shit thing that's not, and I'm not gonna, oh my god, yeah. Meanwhile, he's smart as fuck, you're fucking retarded. Yeah, but it's like, right, we're gonna move on to, it's like, oh, right, well, I have the bike with the trailer that's definitely breaking apart and having issues. So it's like, oh, fuck. Well, what do you know? Told you. It's gonna have these fucking problems. I'm definitely disabled. For sure. My mom, they give grades. My mom can't fucking in any way be considered disabled. She can work those fucking long hours and all these other fucking things. She'll just fucking be a narcissist and try and get attention. You know what I mean? From trying to harm herself and everything else. But she will do it. Meanwhile, me, I actually have issues that mean I can't do things. Like, no, you have actual issues. I'd have to invalidate and consider your problems. I'm a narcissist that says you can't have that be seen as something valid or anything. That's what makes it so that way I can gaslight you and not have to in any way allow for you to effectively get fair and equal treatment. And I wouldn't be able to abuse you anymore. You would have some control and power. There you go. A bike. That's all I've got. Yeah. That is breaking down. And then I'm going to have to go to them like, hey, so can I get this shit done? I'm waiting for him to come back from wherever the fuck that is. So I can talk to them about this. Because it's like, hey, yeah, I know. But it's like, effectively, you said it'd be $100 for this. So would you be willing to pay for that? Right? Well, it'd be $800. Look how my dad did that. $800 all of a sudden from a $250. No, it's not. But I'm still willing to do it. No, I don't like that. They freaked. They never wanted to do it. They kept doing it. Like, I'm gonna fucking walk away from this. No. I have to actually do this. I have to do. Oh God. It was like, I'm gonna corner them again and let them know that it's like, no, we're not gonna do this. And the only reason why, which will be recorded proof, is that you just never wanted to do it in the first place. And you literally don't want to take into account anything at all. Like, it's not about safety, because then the camper van makes total sense. And it's not about cost, because then the motorcycle makes total sense. It's about the fact that you don't want me to leave and become independent, which is why, you take the scooter all the way over to another town. We'd have to pay you an acceptable amount. You'd be independent, control of your situation. That's exactly what that is. And I'm not going to say it. I'm going to lie the entire time. That's what that is. But you can't prove intention. Oh, I can easily prove intention. That's not hard. Just get me a jury that isn't going to be a bunch of gabagoos, and I can easily prove that. Look at my hung jury. I got a cat. Oh, yeet. Boom. Oh, I got a new one in. And this? Yeah, no. They're doing that. That's the intention. Oh, thanks. All right. Well, there we go. And the jury has decided you're guilty. Yeah, there you go. Simple as that, usually. It's not that hard to prove. It's just like really pretty simple. You just have to break it down a little. Like, I was literally doing that. It's like, hey, no, I'm willing to do that thing. No, you're not willing to do it. No, I'm telling you I'm willing to do this thing. No, you're not willing to do it. No, I'm doing that thing. I'm saying multiple times over that I'm going to do that thing that we established that you want me to do. No! Record it multiple times over. Meanwhile, me, what do you know? That's exactly what we're going to do. Over and over and over until it eventually blows up over some small detail they don't want to fully follow through on and actually allow for me to become independent and in control of my life. Narcissist gabagoos. Anyways, I just wanted to core that it's like, oh yeah, no. This is what causes me to have issues. Right now, I'm kind of like, sort of okay. Later on, I'm not going to be. It's a whole thing. That's usually how it works with me. And then also on top of it, I have a bad bike. Like, the bike needs to be fixed. So I have to try and still, ultimately speaking, have this conversation with both of them, which apparently took my dog. And went off and decided to walk them. No, I did this nice thing for you. No, you didn't. You went and left because, like, oh, hey, Mom, what if I just decided to go along with $100? And then, like, no, I'm not talking with, and then, oh, God, he might talk, and like he did this when he was a kid. He'd go, and then he'd be like, hey, so what if I just did this thing? Uh-oh. Seems to be a problem. I need to go leave. I'm going to have to fucking definitely manipulate my husband into thinking this one particular way. And then like, this is bad and that's insane and all this other stuff. And it's like, yeah, it's not though. And then I'll calm down and be like, no, maybe over time. And then as if we didn't just have this conversation like this, which he established he'd do these things. And it's like, no, but like this thing was totally insane that I said that he had to do for me to be. But it's like, actually, no, he was saying he'd be comfortable with whatever total cost is for that job and the number of jobs it would require for it to be acceptable, which would be what you intended as what that money was that you were comfortable with saying that that job was worth. And I said, okay, I'll do that. And you're like, no. We have to establish, and then what would it be worth? And I was like, whatever you're comfortable with. Over and over and over. No, you're not. And all of a sudden, it's like, no, I am. No. Yeah, no. What? And now you know why I laugh like an insane person after a while. Like, you are literally insane. You're a clown. You're a group of clowns. What in the fuck? Hey, is Dad back?
I gotta pee.
Is Dad back?
My glasses are, it's cold.
Is Dad back?
Yeah, he's in the backyard with,
All right.
Taylor.
You might want to join me. You're more reasonable. No. I'm just gonna talk to him the same way I normally do. Oh, it needs personality. Yeah, because he knows. So, from what I understood it as, Mom's comfortable and you're comfortable paying this much for this job, and I was comfortable doing that amount for that job.
Yep.
So, if I can still find a van, we'd still be able to do something, right?
Yeah, but you got to get the job done first.
The job would still be what it is. Okay. Right. So we went back and forth and yelled and screamed a lot, but we're still good to go on getting a van and still having your level of comfort for that job being done, being this amount of money. Right?
Yep. You got to get the job for the done.
The job's going to have to be done. Already established. You don't have to say it more and more and more.
Are we going?
No, I'm almost ready.
Go ahead.
Make sure you tell Mom that. Okay? All right. So the van's not over even though you dissipated the argument or whatever the fuck this is. And that's what that's going to be.
Okay.
Why? Because that's how the things work in families like this. Literally. That's actually how that works. It's like, no, it's going to be ambiguous. But it's like, if you go to that for, it's like, no, it's still fine. It's just that we want to yell and scream and blah, 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 blah. It's like, you can go to this one. And you have to talk about this thing. Wait a second. So, just talk to Dad, right? This amount of money for this job is what you were willing to accept no matter what, which is what I said you were going to be comfortable with. He said the van's still on. Is that good?
You can find yourself a van.
All right, there we go. Cool. Still doing it. All right. Thank you. That's kind of how you have to do it. You have to do the argument, then you have to go, all right. Now, it's still going on, and we're still okay with the rules and established boundaries. This isn't healthy, ever, but it's what it is.